Good evening, everybody. Welcome to the card reading session. As usual, I've got Andy from Elemental Encounters with me.
Hello.
You'll see he's actually got his proper title thing under his webcam tonight. I did an extra special effort this morning and got it right, rather than using
Oh, I
the...
like it. It looks
There you
good.
go, look, yeah, it does look good, doesn't it?
It does.
Let me just call up the chat. You will have to bear with me tonight, folks, because believe it or not, about 5 o'clock this afternoon, I started with a cold and my throat is on its way out, so I might sound a little bit croaky while we're doing this.
We're both ready for Knacker's yard, Brett.
Yeah, Andy ain't overly well at the moment, so Becky's actually writing names down and Andy's reading them off the TV. So
Yep.
you'll have to bear with us tonight because we're both a pair of invalids. Sorry about that. When we finish the card reading, we'll have a quick chat about the video I put on yesterday and the one funny comment on there that Andy pointed out. And I believe Andy's putting his video up. Is it Tuesday?
It'll be premiering Tuesday night, yeah.
There you go. Andy will be premiering his video from what we call the Secret Fae Garden
I love
on
it.
Tuesday. So if you'd all like to watch that, when this is over, I will actually put a card in the top of the right hand part of the screen with a link to Andy's channel. I've done that on my video as well, by the way, Andy.
Oh,
So
cool.
I can link straight to your channel off it from an info
Yeah,
card.
yeah. I'll be linking to yours as well.
It's all right, Tracy. I've got Becky's special brew here, which is laced with honey. So I'm going to be gulping down the honey after I finish the coffee, and hopefully both will be gravy free.
It's going to haunt you for the rest of your life, this gravy.
I know. I don't mind my coffee so much. I'd die if they stuck it in me special brew. I'd have a fit. Right, do you want to start with the first one then, Andy, and we'll see who it is?
Yeah, first on list is Sam.
Sam, Psychic Sam. You should do this yourself, Sam.
Yeah, she should she should know what's coming out.
For people who don't know, we did a stream on Friday, which was for people to test how psychic they are. And Sam from Life After Life TV Productions turned out to be the most psychic person on the channel. We had a couple coming close behind her, and then everybody else was basically about as psychic as Derek Acora. So, there you go. I think I ended up with, 1 point or 2 points, something like that?
Yeah, but you couldn't take part in some activities, could
but
you?
I've always said I'm as psychic as a soggy cardboard box anyway.
Yeah,
So.
I think I come worst off at 2 points.
Told you should have been consulting the Fae more.
Well, I tried, but they won't take part, and they left me. Literally, like 10 minutes before the stream, they were here, and I'm like, yeah, there's a game on now. As soon as stream started, gone.
Ooh, this is a nice one. Right, we've got past, present, future, and final outcome. I only say that as a rough guide because sometimes I look at them and I find the cards are actually linking to a subject rather than time periods. So we'll start off with your past card, Sam, which is the Queen of Swords. Now, the Queen of Swords, to me, always indicates a very clever woman. Linked in the past, it's a little bit of an odd card to have there, but what it normally references to me, like I say, is an advisor. Or the gaining of intellectual gaining of a woman. So I think this card actually represents you. And this is in your recent past, and what that says to me is basically over the last 6 months you've had a lot of intellectual growth, and by that I don't mean say you've got uber smart or turned into a genius. It's like the gathering of knowledge. It's saying your horizons have broadened, and you may have actually changed opinion on things that in the past you may have believed in, and things that you may not have believed in. You now do. Again, it's a symbol of the self rather than learning it externally. So basically, it is an intellectual journey of self-discovery, and this has been going on recently. Leading into your present, which is another interesting card, which is the Six of Cups. Now, to me, this is showing some kind of partnership on an emotional level. I don't think it's romantic as such. Hi, Nikki. But there is a partnership coming up that is more of an emotional thing. It may be that a friend who's currently within your circle is going to become a lot more important to you, or a friendship at the moment is about to deepen, and this friendship is going to be very, very important to you, extremely important. Um, it could even be, Sam, believe it or not, what I'm getting here is, you know, your collaborations on YouTube. I'm getting the impression that collaborations with another person are going to become far more important to you. Where you tend to do a lot of this stuff on your own now, I feel that, you know, coming up in the next few months into future events, it feels like there's going to be more of it may be a very small circle, Sam, but one of these people is going to become very important, and I've got a feeling it may be connected to your channel. Um, I've got a feeling that one of these friendships is going to deepen, and they're going to become more directly involved with your channel. In so, I don't know, they could be a researcher, they could be coming on it with you. Um, somebody is definitely going to become more important on your channel, and it's somebody who's already within your circle of friends, Sam. It's nobody new. It's somebody you already know. So if that's a small circle, it shouldn't be difficult to find out who it is. But it is going to be of a benefit. It's not a negative thing. All your cards are positive in this four. Um, Leading up into the future. Oh God, this is a weird one. You've got the Page of Wands. Now, the Page of Wands to me signifies teenagers and youngsters normally, but it can also signify um, like reliving your childhood sort of thing, and childhood discoveries. You know, our child wonders. Oh God, it's hard to word this. Um, when a child's learning things and they have that childlike wonder about what they discover, I think this is what's going to develop from this partnership. You're going to find a lot of wonderful things coming up from this collaboration with a friend. You know, and it's going to be like a journey of discovery for both of you. I ain't saying it's childlike, but you know, it's that kind of wonder, innocent wonder that children have. That is what I'm getting off the card. Um, Leading into the final outcome, um, you've got the cups. Excuse me, the nine of cups, which again is leading towards the end of the cup suit before you get into the royal part of the cards, which to me always signifies a strong emotional bond. It's all referring back to this bond, and it's going to be very successful. What's coming up for you now, Sam? But there's definitely going to be some kind of partnership involved, and you're going to go from strength to strength with it. And as you develop this, and I honestly do, but I'm getting the impression, Sam, it is linked to your channel. Could be, Sam, could be, but it's like childlike discovery is what I'm, or childhood discovery. It's something to do with children and discovery. But it's going to be it's going to be an emotional awakening for you as well, because that's what your final outcome is saying. Um, and this friendship is gonna deepen and deepen and deepen. I can't tell you where it's gonna go. I can't say if it's gonna blossom into a relationship or not, because I don't know. But if not, it's gonna become a very deep friendship, a very, very important friendship to you, like almost like a soulmate and a friend is about the best way to think. But whatever this discovery is that you're going on, you're going on it with somebody else, and it's gonna be a very emotional journey, but a positive emotional journey. It's not going to be anything negative at all, nothing at all. But you're definitely going to develop emotionally from it. Hi, Maureen. So I hope that helped you, Sam. But that's pretty much what I'm getting off here. Just to summarise, you know, you've started a journey of discovery. Your knowledge has been improving recently. That is now going to flourish into a partnership with somebody else, where you're going to continue this journey. It's going to lead to a lot of a lot of discoveries that you're going to find, wondrous, like children do when they're learning new things. It's that kind of wondrous discovery, and it is going to change you emotionally, big time, big time.
Really nice reading that.
Yeah, it was.
With that page card, I'm really drawn to the fact that there's like no outside interference either with this wonder.
Yeah,
It's like there's absolutely not. You're going to be like immersed in it, kind of thing.
yeah, definitely.
With this
But just
learning,
chip in if you see anything on the card, Andy, because it's important.
right?
If things are jumping out at you, say so.
Yeah,
Because it is important. Yes, Jackie, it was a nice reading. I like them kind.
yeah, it was really a good one. That one.
I don't like it. A couple of weeks ago, I got a string of really negative ones, and it was, I always tell people like it is, but I don't like it when they all come out in a string because it makes you sound like you're a miserable git. Who's
So
this?
next up, we've got Stephen.
Dad, tell me this is Stephen.
It is
We got Justice again.
really.
Yeah. And the conflict. Oh, God, this thing is ongoing. What the hell does it mean? Right, Stephen. Yet again, we've got Justice. The last three readings I've done for you, this has been coming out, and normally in that position. Now, bear in mind the 78 cards in this deck, and I've just shuffled them. The chances of that keep happening is a little bit remote. So, this thing that's been it's showing this conflict. And it's an unfair conflict. It definitely is. And I'm sorry to sound like a parrot, but this is the third time that this card has actually come out for you. So, there's been some kind of ill judgment here. Leading on to the Knight of Pentacles. I'll narrow it down a bit now. I've got a feeling it might, somebody... It's financially related. It is definitely financially related. Or whoever it is considers that it's financially related. It's definitely linked around money because going on a journey regarding money is coming up into your future now. But it's linked to the Justice card, which is it's something to do with this judgment that's been going on in the past. And I honestly don't know what it is, Stephen, but it keeps coming up every time I do your reading. So whatever it is, it's really, really important. And it's leading into the Knight of Pentacles. Pentacles represent the material. So if it's not to do with money, it's to do with possessions. It's an argument or a disagreement or a judgment on a materialistic level. Definitely materialistic. It's not an emotional thing. It's not an intellectual thing. It is definitely, or a physical, it is definitely a material. Most definitely, whatever this judgment is. Again, going into the future, we've got the Five of Wands, which again is it's conflict. But I know, what was I just saying about negative readings, Andy? I know this sounds negative, but I ain't getting the feeling it's negative. Not bad conflict. No conflict's good, but I ain't getting the impression it's overly disruptive conflict. I'm getting the impression that it's subliminal. It's something that you either ain't aware of, or you're aware of, but you're not aware of the full picture. But it is going to lead up to... Hi, Selena. It is going to lead up to more conflict for some reason. I've no idea why. The good thing is, as your final outcome, you've got the King of Wands. Again. Now, the King of Wands is what I consider... obviously it's the final card in the Wand suit. And it always signifies, the ultimate success on a physical level. So it is showing peace of mind at the end of it. Am I after somebody particular? I've no idea. Jacob. Whatever this conflict's leading up to, Stephen, again, it is saying that you're gonna come out all right at the end of it. And I'm sorry I'm sounding like a parrot every time I do your readings, but that is literally what's coming out every time. It's conflict, but conflict that you endure and you come out on top of. and you are going to get peace of mind at the end of it, and it is going to be concluded to your satisfaction. Nothing's going to go against you. However this thing pans out, it's going to pan out on the positive for you. And you're going to have peace of mind at the end of it. But I'm still getting the impression it's a family member, Stephen, or somebody extremely close to your family circle. It's either an extreme. I'm more inclined to go to family, but it could possibly be close friend. But I am more inclined to say it's a family member. But you're either not aware of it, or if you are aware of it, there's undercurrents that you're not aware of that are still going to bring conflict up in the next few months. But it is gonna right itself at the end, and you're going to end up with peace of mind at the end of it. So I hope that helps. And sorry to sound like a parrot, but I can only tell you what the cards are saying to me at the moment, and you're literally getting pretty much the same cards every time I do your reading. Sorry about that.
I think it's going to be a big event for him, isn't it, once it comes to light?
Oh yeah.
Definitely.
But I don't think it's going to cause overly bad ill feeling. I ain't getting the
No,
impression
yeah.
it's a destructive conflict. But there's definitely conflict there, and it's definitely family member. Andy, I keep getting family member every time I read his cards.
Yeah.
It could be a close friend, but I just get the feeling it's coming from within the family. There's somebody within the family up to something, and I don't know whether he's aware of it at the moment, or whether the judgment they've made is past. They've already made their minds up about it because it was in the past position, but it's still ongoing, and it's going to roll into the immediate future as well. But it is going to be settled at the end of that period. So at most, it's only going to go on for another 6 months. But I wouldn't even say it was, that. I've just got the feeling it's coming to an end now.
All
What
right.
next is Tracy B?
Yes.
Don't get
Tracy
arguing
B.
with your sister, Stephen. Please do not argue with your sister, because I always say about the cards is what I'm telling you now is only as the situation is now. If you do anything to change what's going on, these cards will change again. That your future is not set in stone. All the cards tell you is how things are going from the current set of circumstances. So as long as you continue down the path you continue in, this is what should happen. But if you change anything drastic, then obviously the outcome could change altogether. The cards don't predict the future as such. They only predict the future in relation to your current situation. I know that sounds a subtle difference, but it's actually an important one. It really is an important one. Right, who did we say it was? Tracy B?
Yeah.
Oh my God. Wow. 4 major arcana. And I'd shuffle these, and I'd make sure they were all split up, and they've all come back together again. Or some of them have. It's alright, I'm just flicking through the what's it. All the others are split up. Wow, that's freaky. Oh God. This looks worse than it actually is, believe it or not. On first glance, it looks really icky, but when you when you take the cards in sequence, Tracy, they ain't as bad as I thought they were. Right, excuse me sniffing, I can't help it, I am because I'm looking down at these cards and my nose is running. What the cards are saying at the moment, for your previous last 6 months, there's been some kind of suspension in things. You felt like you're going nowhere one way or the other. You're adrift, sort of things, or something in your life has been adrift. You felt literally like you're suspended at a point, is the best way to put it. And this is already passed. I do feel that card relates directly to you rather than a situation. So now, Tracy, you don't need to leave home. Honestly, this is not as bad as it looked. When I turned the first 2 over, I'm like, oh shit. Once the other 2 turned up, I weren't. I was okay. I do feel that this card is actually referring directly to you rather than the situation around you. Okay, Stephen, no problem. Um, and you do feel that you've been stuck in a rut at the moment. Not right now, but that is how you've been feeling recently. Um, Leading up into the tower. Now, believe it or not, I always consider the tower a very negative card, but because it's next to the hangman and temperance is the other side of it, it's telling me that it's not actually negative this time. It's basically again, this tower is referring directly to you, not a situation. And what it's saying now is you've just hit the point, or you're about to hit the point where this stagnation is just going to break down completely. You're going to come to some kind of epiphany, and you're going to set yourself a positive goal or a goal in life. This is happening now. You've either just come to this decision, or it's coming very very soon. It's going to be a total destruction of the past. It's going to totally get rid of what's been going on for the last 6 months. This stagnation's going to go, literally, because the tower always one of the things it signifies is things coming out of the blue, which is why I think that it's going to be a change. But it's the destruction element of the tower that is important, and the two people jumping out the tower. To me, I'm seeing them on that card with this, not as people killing themselves. I'm seeing that as a death of the way you're feeling. It's like you're casting out all this feeling of going nowhere at the moment. So in your present, this change of heart is coming, or it's already here. You're in the process of pulling your bootstraps up and getting on with life. This stagnation is coming to an end now. So on that note, it's positive. Right, moving into your future, all this change is going to be, I won't say problematic, but you may find it a little bit difficult to adjust to certain situations. And what it's telling me up in the next few months is, think carefully about everything that happens before you make a decision on any what's it. Because here it's temperance is about finding the middle path. So it's saying, don't jump to one side of an argument or another without having a good think about it. You've got to apply a good dose of common sense here. This is where your reading's starting to get more positive now. This is an advisory, temperance, in your future. And basically what it is it's saying, with all this disruption, it's literally going to turn your life. You're going to find a lot of your life's going to be spinning all over the place, and you've got to think about every decision before you make it. I don't think regardless of what decision you make, I don't think any of them are going to be overly bad, but there is definitely a right and wrong way to go with each situation as you come up to them in the next 6 months. And all you've got to do is just apply a little bit of common sense to them, and you'll be fine. You'll be making the right decisions. Leading on to the final outcome, it's the lovers. Now, I'm not seeing it in the respect of the lovers. I'm seeing it in the respect of you're being watched over, and there's going to be outside influences coming into the future where things are going to sort themselves out. And it's that's why from the temperance is coming the lovers, which is it's a conjoining. It's things coming together for the good. It's more of the conjoining than the actual love side of the card I'm seeing at the moment. But I'm sensing off the card that there's going to be some kind of spiritual overwatcher here, Tracy. I don't think they're going to be on the physical plane as such. You have literally, and I don't believe in angels, but I will use the term guardian angel. And you're going to have something coming from a spiritual realm to assist and to watch over you and make sure you're okay. But they're helping now, and all it's saying is, with the help of them, all this stuff that's going to happen over the next 6 months, and it's not, it's nothing major, nothing horrible is going to happen if you make a wrong decision, but there are better decisions than others. So all it's saying is, just have a sit back before you make a decision on anything, and just apply a bit of common sense. But there is going to be somebody around you from, I don't know what your beliefs are. If you believe in things like the spiritual realm, it could be a relative who's passed on, or a friend who's passed on, or if you believe in guardian angels, it's something from that is not from the physical realm right now. It's something from outside. It's a spiritual overwatcher is about the best way of putting it. I hate using the term guardian angel, Andy, because I don't believe in them.
Let's go fairy godmother.
Fairy godmother. I can go with that.
We can go with that one.
Yeah, I can go with fairy godmother. But Tracy, it is looking good. Honestly, when I turned them first two cards over, I was a bit panicky because, they ain't really brilliant together. But it's always nice when you get the two after. They normally tell you whether the card's got to be diluted or not. As a final thought on this reading, what I will say to you, the fact that all four of them are major arcana cards is really important. Because when you get a major arcana card in any position on a reading, that is also, that is an indicator that it's an extremely important period of your life. Because all four of them are major arcana, this is saying to me that these next 6 months are going to be a life changer, a major life changer. So I hope that helps. But it's always nice when you get four major arcana, as long as they're in a particular four major arcana in any combination.
Yeah. I mean that first one as well. The T of it, with your name being Tracy as well, really stands out to me.
Yeah.
It's like a big letter T, isn't it?
Yeah. See,
it's really cool.
The Hanged Man is never. To me, I don't class him as an overly negative card.
Yeah.
He's very rarely an overly positive card, but sometimes he's what I call an indicator card, where he isn't actually coming in the positive or the negative. He's coming in the situational, and that's when it comes to that. Right, who's next, Andy? Did Becky say I've missed it?
Next is Nate Lithgow.
Nate.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, I'm glad that helped you, Tracy. But like I say, just apply common sense to any decisions you're making in the next few months, and you'll define. But this period where you're feeling your life's a bit stagnated is coming to an end now, definitely. Oh, this is interesting. Right, past, present, future, final outcome. Past is King of Swords. Again, swords represent the intellectual, and they are the penultimate part of the intellectual. But it can also signify a man who's very, very clever or smart. Because it's linked to the world in your future, I'm getting business plans or plans in general, plans in the head. There's something been planned recently that you've been thinking about that is about to come to fruition. I ain't saying the plan itself is going to come to fruition, but maybe the finalisation of the plans is about to come on. The king to me, he is a planning card, but he can also represent, depending on what's surrounding him. He can also, represents a very intellectual person, somebody with a keen mind. It could be representing you, but I get the impression this is more about mental plans. This card, there's been a lot of planning going on recently about you've been thinking about something or considering doing something. Moving into your present, which is the world, which is a lovely card and also a major arcana. It's also the last card in the tarot deck, which is the world, and it's a sign of success and completion, and it is also a sign of plans coming to fruition, which is which fits in perfectly with the King of Swords. Whatever you're thinking about is definitely going to be happening now. It's in your present. I am getting more of the feeling that it is more of the planning stage of it than the actual of it happening. So whatever it is you're thinking about, now is the time to get it finalised. Now is the perfect time. Moving into your future, which again is the sun. Now I always love it when these two cards come side by side, because they're two of the astrological cards. The sun again is a sign of complete success. It's a sign of moving on. What's coming off the cards at me at the moment is the joyful little rider on the horse and the horse itself. Normally, this is odd because I normally pick up on either one or the other of them, but I'm picking up on both of them on this. And what it's saying in the immediate future is whatever this is you're doing, it's going to take you places. There's definitely going to be a lot of success here, and it's going to cause a lot of movement in your life. And bar movement, not I don't necessarily mean you're going to travel, but maybe your lifestyle's going to move in a big way. But there's definitely a lot of movement coming here, and it's going to be a very successful thing. The only thing I will say is in your final outcome, which again is the Five of Wands, be very careful of outside influences, because there are people who will try and either cash in on your success or spitefully try and stop it. So that is just coming in as a warning that, what you've got to do is be not selfish, but be single-minded in what you've got planned, because there are going to be people on the periphery who are going to try and throw a spanner in the works, so to speak. But it's whatever you're doing, Nate, it's definitely going to be successful. Definitely going to be successful, and it's going to take you places. And that final card literally is just showing as an advisory warning to not take any notice of advice from other people. The way to success for you is in your own head, and I hope that helped.
Cool.
Okay, Coke. How many have we got tonight, Andy?
We've got 10.
Right, okay.
Don't know if you want a quick breaker out. You're having a bit of a cold today.
It's the sniffing, it can't be very nice. Everybody even going every few seconds. I should stuff some cotton wool up my nose. It was a positive reading, Jackie. That was actually a very successful reading. I like readings like that when they're advising you to get on with life, and that was definitely saying get on with what you're planning, because now's the time to do it, because now is the ideal time to be successful with it. Right, who's next?
Next is Jackie Matthews.
Jackie. Right, now before I start Jackie's, please be a nice one. Ooh. Oh my God, why are all these lot coming out? Jackie, I'm just going to have a sip of me coffee and order me a black suit. I'm only kidding. Right. This one most definitely ain't past, present and future. This is a situation. I get, again, very much like Stephen. Jackie, it's actually okay. It's actually okay. Again, it's more of an internalised thing. Again, I feel there's been some judgments recently out of your control. I don't necessarily believe they may have necessarily been directed directly at you, but I believe there's some decisions been made that have been affecting you, and it's linking into temperance, which is again self-control and balance. So to me, it's saying that there's a situation, and I do believe all these cards and that are linked. Then that these are not past, present, and future. This is a continuous 4-card situation. And what it's telling me about you there is, maybe you've been having to bite your lip a bit recently over something. Somebody or something has made a decision that may not necessarily be directly aimed at you, but has affected you in some way, and you've found that you've had to bite your lip a lot over it. And maybe at times say something you may not necessarily would have done just to keep the peace. You've been what I would say the centre point in something. You're like the centre point on a pair of scales in this situation. You've been keeping balance between possibly two other people. But there's been a lot. There's been judgments from both sides, and it's indirectly affected you, and you've had to keep the peace by being the centre pin of a pair of scales, pretty much. And that's what the temperance is signifying. But it's also signifying. It's self-control is screaming at me off this card, and literally biting your lip. That's what that is what I'm getting off the card. Having to bite your lip when really you just want to turn around and smack them both in the face. I know that sounds a bit extreme, but we all go through it, and that's what he's saying. You've been the peacemaker, but sometimes at times you've been forced to be the reluctant peacemaker because you've basically agreed with one side or the other, but you felt you've had to keep the balance between the two. Um, Leading on to death, nobody's going to die. Don't worry. Again, it's telling me that this is coming to an end and it's changing. It's causing a lot of changes within your circle of family, friends, interests, that kind of thing. There's an ending of a lot of things here, and a lot of new beginnings. Maybe whatever this situation is going to involve a breakup of some point. Now, I ain't saying it's like a relationship breakup, but I am getting the feeling that there's going to be a breaking point soon, to do with this argument, or disagreement or judgmental thing that's going on. And the breakup's coming. The ending of it is definitely, it's very, very close. The good news is, Jackie, because it's the Three of Cups, I always get off the Three of Cups celebration, because if you look, they're all there toast in the air, and it looks like they're basically having a party, which you may have come the end of it thinking is well deserved. But this is going to turn out okay, Jackie. Arguments are going to be settled. This imbalance is going to find a balance, and you're going to be directly responsible for it. And then you can just sit back and give yourself a good tap on the back for it, is what it's saying. But it's definitely screaming celebration at the end and success. So just bear with it for now. I don't know what it is, but the changes are coming, and they're coming soon. And there is going to be celebration and peace at the end of it. So yes, you've got a future. You've got a very good future. Partying every weekend, Jackie. But yeah, the Three of Cups to me is always a very nice card. It's what I consider a celebration card, because I literally get party off that card, and everybody toasting and having a good time. So it's always a very nice card to have. But it is showing that there's been this turmoil around you, and it is still ongoing at the moment. But I think it's coming to an end now. And give yourself a pat on the back, because you have definitely been the centerpin. You are going to have been and will continue to be the centerpin that finally solves it. Yeah, well worth a drink, Jackie. Most definitely. Oh, I'm going to have another sip of coffee in a sec. Who's next?
No worries. It's our very own pocket rocket, Jamie.
Jamie. Oh, Jamie, you're going to die. I'll just not bother to do it. You're going to die, go to heaven and have a lot of fun. Well, actually, no, you're going to hell and have a lot of fun. You don't want to go to heaven, it sounds boring. I'm going to die now, Andy, if I turn over Death and the Tower side by side.
Eek, she says.
I'll let you know, Jamie, if I'm going to buy a black suit when I turn the cards over. See, I'm laughing and joking about this. If I shouldn't really. Ooh. Right, Jamie. This is a past, present, future. Your final outcome's really interesting because it's the High Priestess. Right, recent past, it's the Lovers, but because it's next to the excuse me, the Four of Pentacles, I always consider the Four of Pentacles as like a lonely card, and links because it's right next to the Lovers. It's saying to me there's been an emotional breakdown of, and I don't mean you've had a breakdown. There's been it's a breakdown of something on an emotional level. So it could be a relationship or a friendship. I don't mean you had a nervous breakdown. I worded that slightly wrong. Um, because it's linked with the Four of Pentacles. I am seeing it's either a relationship or a friendship breakdown that has happened in and by recent past. I normally say about the last 3 to 6 months. You know, and it is one that I would say probably affected you a lot more deeply than you'd like to admit. Right? Um, it may have revolved around money as well, considering that the Pentacle card is next to it. But don't quote me on that. I'm just getting a feeling that finances may have played a small part in it, or a major part, but financial matters did play a part in it. Um, Bad news, Jamie, is I cannot see a new relationship coming up right away, but because I'm now looking at the Nine of Pentacles, and again this is odd because you've got two Pentacle cards there, and I always say whichever is the dominant suit is normally the overall feeling of the reading. So this is definitely financial, material type things of a reading. I think you've hit a stage right now for the foreseeable future, and I ain't saying forever, but and I do get the impression this is a personal decision that you may be at a point at the moment where you feel like um, you may be better off on your own for a short time. And I'll tell you why in a minute because of that High Priestess being there. Um, I can see a definite improvement in finances coming up because the higher up the Pentacle cards you go, the better the financial prospect of the card is. And that is saying to me, what I'm getting off that third card, which is your future, is basically at the moment your mind has turned away maybe from relationships and the emotional sides of things and more on securing your future financially. Um, and this is a decision you've made, Jamie. It's not a decision imposed on you. You've decided for the foreseeable future, and it's only short term. I ain't saying this is going to carry on forever, but you're going to put your finances on a more important footing than your love life coming up. I ain't saying you ain't going to get a relationship. I'm just saying this is what the cards are saying is important for you at the moment, and what the way you're going is that you're gonna have financial considerations are going to be more important to you than relationship ones, and they are going to be successful. There's definitely an improvement in finances there because it's the Nine of Pentacles, and it is literally the last but one card before you go into the Royals. The Royals tend to um, signify people regarding what they represent, whereas the numbered cards tend to represent the actual uh, thing they represent. If you get what I mean, like any one of the picture cards would represent a person connected to money, whereas the Ace to the 10 cards represent the money itself. So to me, that is definitely saying that money prospects are increasing, but there's definitely this. It's more of a. I'm getting more of a whimsical thing off this card that you thought for the moment stuff with the relationships. Um, there is definitely a lot of this in. Yeah, I think you've just hit the stage at the moment, Jamie, where securing your future financially is more important to you than securing um, your future emotionally. And to be honest with you, this is the way for you to go at the moment. Um, your overall card is really interesting because it's the High Priestess, and to me, it's what I call the Witch card. Um, it's a neutral card as well. It can actually be positive or negative, believe it or not. The High Priestess, but what it's saying to me is you're going to learn a lot of things spiritually, emotionally, physically, mentally. Okay, if you know what I'm saying. Um, on the Wiccan side of things for you, there's gonna be a big ramping up of that. You're going to start accruing a lot more knowledge in the future, and it's saying that that is the pathway for you is going to be along the Wiccan lines, or the pagan. I won't say Wiccan, I'll say pagan, um, because it's secrets learned, but sometimes it can signify secrets kept from you. But in this case, it's actually the positive side because it's next to a positive card. So information is what that final card is screaming at me, and it's information on a spiritual level, a material level, a physical level. You know, it's information from all areas of life. But I'm strongly getting the impression that the pagan side of things for you are really going to ramp up, and you're really going to dig into the knowledge of it, if you know what I'm saying, Jamie. Um, Now's the time of learning, more so than retrospect. You've made your decisions regarding where you want to go in life, and it is indicating that finances could come if you think about it carefully enough and you plan well enough. Um, Finances can come from the spiritual side of your life as well as from the material side of your life. Yeah, it's not just the knowledge. It's the knowledge to materially gain from it as well, Jamie. If you know what I'm saying, and that is what it's all leading up to. Um, it's say you know you it's saying definitely delve into the spiritual side of things with the paganism, and maybe with that knowledge, there's a chance for you to improve financially from that avenue as well. And I'll just put it politely like that, okay? And I'm going to sneeze. Excuse me. But that's about the best I can do at the moment, Jamie. But again, another positive one. But it is definitely saying that you're at the stage in life where your finances are more important to you than the emotional side of things, most definitely. And I do believe it's as a result of a recent breakup with friend or family or what partner. You know that has been like the final straw for you that's triggered this change. But it has affected you more than you've let on to people. But you're gonna make a positive from a negative. No, I hope that helps. Oh, and you're gonna chip in, Andy.
You are?
And you're gonna chip in.
No, no, I've got no. All I can see is a little banana next to High Priestess.
Well, you tell Jamie what you think that represents then.
Well, at least it's not a cucumber. That's all we can say about that.
You're welcome, Jamie. You're most welcome. Oh, who's next?
We've got Nikki New.
Nikki. Oh. How many we got left, Andy?
Bex, just put list up for me a sec. She's ignoring me. Becky, put list up. After Nikki, there's 3 left.
We could take a few more in, Andy, if they need to.
What about mine?
Yeah, don't worry, we're still going to do yours. We've only been
What
going
about
an
mine?
hour.
What about mine and Becky's?
Oh, do you want does Becky want one as well?
Yeah, she
All right,
does.
well, I'll do yours and Becky's then.
Oh, go on, man. Pickle cucumbers.
I'll tell you what would be interesting to try one of the nights is if I do a spread, and then people tell me for me, and then people tell me what they think.
Oh yeah, that'd be cool.
Because anybody can do this. You only need to practice at it.
Yeah, yeah.
You don't need no super psychic ability to read the tarot cards. You just need to be a bit intuitive. Right, Nikki. Right, Nikki. Oh, this is quite weird. Um, right, Nikki. I don't think this is a past, present, and future. I think this is more of an overall thing. Um, and what this reading is saying to me, now don't take this the wrong way because I don't mean it negatively, but at the moment it's saying there's a lot of mental insecurity and mental anxiety around you. Um, Starting off with the fool, and it doesn't mean you're a fool. It's basically meaning that there's a new period starting in your life now, and I think these cards are split into one and three, and I think these cards are actually reversed because I think the first card is telling me what's going to happen, and the other three are telling me what's caused it. Um, so I'm gonna ignore the fool at the moment because I'm gonna tell you what I'm getting off the other three. Right. The second card. Now this isn't your present. This is the overall situation. Um, there's been a lot of no negativity on this channel. There's been a lot of mental anguish recently. Again, as it was with Jamie's reading, just I'm getting the impression that you've tried to hide it from people. But things have been upsetting you a lot more than you've actually been letting on to anybody. You've been sitting there with. Uh, I'll tell you what's coming to my mind is Queen sung "The Show Must Go On." That is what I'm getting off that card. Where you're painting a smile on your face, but inside you've been screaming, and it's been a mental thing more so than an emotional thing. It's caused you a lot of anguish recently, and it's kept you up a lot at nights, and there's been a lot of worry around it. I ain't saying it's anything to do with mental instability. It's just been mental anguish. You've been feeling mentally battered. Um, the next one is this is where it starts to pick up. It's saying that it's time now to make the decision over this mental anguish. There's a time to make a choice because the chariot for me means a number of things. It either means chariot. It either means travel, control, or a decision that takes you in totally opposite directions. And what I'm getting off this card for this one is basically the decision side of it. And it's time it's time for you to make this decision. And this I believe, and again, don't take this the wrong way, Nikki. It's time for you to make a decision that is going to be better for your mental health. And it's got to be a you decision. You now have got to decide the path you want to go for your own peace of mind. It's time to ignore what anybody else says to you. This is most definitely a personal decision. And the card is linking on to, excuse me. Oh God, sorry. Which is the Seven of Swords again, which is another intellect card. But it always tells me that one always has the same meaning for me. That card normally, which is not taking on more than you can deal with. And what this is saying to me is you've got to make this decision now before things get to before they overpower you mentally. Because otherwise you're going to keep going in a vicious circle. So basically it's saying, there's this anguish here at the moment. Now is the time to make the decision. But you can take control of it. But it's got to be a personal thing, Nikki. It can't be a decision somebody else makes for you. It's one that you've got to firmly take the reins of. You've got to grasp the reins and choose your path. And this is what the chariot is signifying. It's definitely a good and bad decision here. So I will warn you about that. But you will know which is the right one of the two options to take. Because it's telling you if you make the wrong decision, it's going to lead to, again, taking on more than you can cope with mentally. And that is what the card signifies at the end, where he's trying to struggle to pick. He's got an armful of swords, which represent the intellect, but there's two more there he's hoping he can pick up, and it's just too many for him to carry. and that is what the card conveys to me. But that's a warning. That is definitely a warning card, Nikki, rather than a prediction. So it's just saying, think about it, make the choice. But this one is definitely a wrong and right decision. It ain't a better of two, lesser of two evils, or two nice options, but one's better than the other. One decision will be good for you, and the other decision will be bad for you, and will lead to this overburdening yourself mentally. But you will know the right path, and it is going to be your choice. Now we'll come back to the Fool, and why I think you're going to make the the right choice, Nikki, is because the Fool is the first card of the major arcana, and it is considered card 0 in the tarot. And basically, what that signifies is new beginnings, start of a new journey. But it can also signify jumping off a cliff feet first, not literally, but figuratively. The little dog always represents a guardian, which says there's always somebody there who will warn you if you're willing to listen. But in this case, I think this is referring to them first 3 cards, but this reading has come backwards, which does happen sometimes, where I get, 3 cards and then I have to refer back to the first one, because the first one is that important to emphasise to somebody that it comes first in the deck, in the spread, even though it ain't necessarily what representing the position it's in. And it is saying there is new beginnings for you, Nikki. Definitely new beginnings. You're about to start on an entirely new journey of your life. You don't know what's ahead of you, but because it's the Fool, and most people think, oh, that's an horrible card to have because he's saying I'm an idiot. It's not. It's actually saying it's new beginnings, the start of new journeys. And this is why I think you know in your own heart, Nikki, what decision you've got to make regarding these problems surrounding you. But you're going to make the right one. Do not go down the wrong path just to keep people happy. I can't emphasise this enough with this reading, Nikki. You have literally got to, you have definitely got to stick with the decision that is right for you, and things will work out fine, and you will enter a new period of your life. Again, with the Fool, I'm still getting new relationship, and I think that this is what maybe which may be what helps you achieve that thing. It is going to be the start of new relationships, as well as a better frame of mentality for yourself. More peace of mind for you. But honestly, I know I keep harping back on it, but this spread is just screaming out at me. Make sure you make the decision that's right for you, and not just to please other people, because otherwise you're going to make a bad decision, and it's not going to end well. It ain't going to end with anything horrible, but it ain't going to be anywhere near as good an outcome as what you can have. Just make the decision for yourself, Nikki. But it's definitely going to lead to a new phase of your life, and I'm still getting the impression it's a new relationship, Nikki. That is still coming off. It's a new phase in your life, but it's new relationship, and I hope that helped. That's alright, Andy. I'm just rolling this again.
You do right.
I'm trying to kill this sore throat with smoke and and I'm gonna have me a bit of liquid gold in a minute as well. Right, who's next?
Next up is Karen.
Karen. Oh, it's okay. Oh, thanks, Nate. Um, this is an interesting one, Andy. Um, because again, this is business, and this is really is. Oh God, major disaster struck off on my lighter. I've got it. Um, this one to me. Who's it for?
Karen.
Karen. Sorry, Karen. I ain't fully with it tonight. Um, this to me is business plans. This. I'm getting the impression of money making. Money making. Even though the first two are the swords. Um, and the last one is pentacles. I'm just getting off this reading, Karen. Um, money making scheme, money making scene, business prospects. Um, there's some again. It was like the one we did earlier. Its plans coming to fruition. The Ace of Swords is a new bright idea. Um, and again, this ain't a past, present, future thing. This is two and two. This one because the first part is referring to the thinking side of it, but the second two are referring to the implementation side of it and the final act and what's going to come of it. I'll take the first two first. Right. Ace of Swords represents new ideas, new ways of thinking. So I think basically what it said is recently there's been a reevaluation um, and thinking in terms of what you're doing. Even though it's a sword card, I do get the impression that the thinking has been more towards financial again. A new scheme or a new idea. Linking into the second card, I get the impression that somebody's been trying to muscle in on your ideas, or somebody has tried to interfere with some kind of. Hang on, I've got to put my chat back up. My chat's flicked off. Freak's sake, hang on. Karen, uh, somebody is trying to interfere with your way of thinking, but you're adamant you're going to do it your own way. Good night, Tracy. Thanks for popping in. Again, I think it's somebody close. There's definite. I'm definitely getting the impression of this. There's mental interference with an idea you've got, and it's an original idea that you're doing for yourself. And it links in lovely with the High Priestess because I'm getting the negative aspects of the card, but not in a negative manner. Because basically, what it's saying to me is the way forward for you at the moment, with whatever this in dealing with this person is to keep secrets. And I don't mean that in a bad way or a naughty way, but basically what it's saying is keep your ideas to yourself at the moment because there's somebody very close to you. And I don't know if you've got a partner or not, but it could be, I'm getting the impression it could even be as close as that. Are trying to interfere with this idea in some way. And it's saying, and what it's telling me is, with the High Priestess, is it's time to be a little bit crafty and a little bit secretive and not lay all, excuse the pun, but don't lay all your cards on the table with this person. And I get the impression, Karen, that it's somebody you're aware of, that you know they're doing this at the moment. They're interfering in your ways of thinking at the moment, or they're trying to change your mind on something, or they're trying to interfere on an intellectual level. But you're aware of it, and basically what it's saying is you've got to play this one crafty. Don't reveal all, put all your cards on the table, and keep your secrets to yourself. Because that is very important at the moment. Because the one that's jumping out of me of these entire four cards is their High Priestess, and I'm getting the negative elements of it, but not in a negative way to you. The negatives are a positive for you, if you understand what I'm saying. The negative parts of the card are actually a positive for you right now. And it's because again she's sitting between the two pillars, and it's good knowledge and bad knowledge. All that's what the two represent: good and evil, dark and light choices. And what it's saying, and I know I'm doing card readings, but it is screaming, don't lay all your cards on the table with this person, because this person is definitely trying to interfere with your your current way of thinking, and it's something. It's an original idea or an original. It's something original you've thought of. It's either something you want to do, somewhere you want to go, but it's definitely something that it's an original line of thought, and this person is aware of it, and they're trying to either interfere or put a stop to it, Karen. And the High Priestess is saying, play it crafty, keep it to yourself, don't reveal the truth to them. And I shouldn't be telling people. I ain't necessarily saying lie, but I'm just saying don't tell them what you know. You don't need to tell them. And you are aware of this person, and you are aware of the situation. So you know what is safe. It's saying you know what is safe to reveal to this person, and you know what is safe not to reveal to this person. Overall wise, it's really nice because again, you've got the Nine of Pentacles, which for some reason wants to jump out this deck on every reading, which is financial success and success overall materialistically. So it's all it is saying is don't put all your eggs in one basket. Don't lay all your cards on the table. Just be aware of what this person's doing or trying to do, but stick with your original plans or ideas, because the ace is saying that is the correct way to go. And regardless of what this person is saying or trying to do, it is not right for you. Only you know your path at the moment, and you've got to keep that to yourself. You've got to be, and I'm going to use the word deceitful, but I don't mean it in a nasty or negative way. You've got to be deceitful for your own good. You've got to play them at their own game if you want the success that you know that you can get from this original idea. But it is definitely going to be a success for you as long as you do that. You've just got to know how to deal with this person. You know them, you are aware of them, you know what they're like, you know what's safe to tell them and what's not safe to tell them. But that High Priestess is literally leaping at this reading at me, and that always tells me that's the most important aspect of it. And it's the negative side of the card, but it's a positive for you. So basically it's saying keep your secrets, don't reveal what you know. It's knowledge that is to be kept for yourself, not knowledge shared. Because normally the High Priestess would show knowledge shared, but in this thing I'm getting the negative of it, but it's a good thing for you. It's saying don't share your knowledge, don't share your ideas, don't share your plans. Not with everybody, just with this one particular person, and you know who it is, and you know what they're up to. But it is going to be successful for you, Karen. As long as you follow that path and you do what's right for you, you're going to be fine. But that's all I can tell you off them for. So I hope that helps. That was quite a sneaky reading, that one, Andy.
It was, wasn't it?
I like that one. Right, I'm shuffling again.
You're shuffling.
You're welcome, Karen. That was a really positive reading. I know it sounded a bit negative in the middle, but it was telling you to be negative to be positive. Who's next then, Andy? Is it Jacob?
Jacob, yep, he knows. He knows he's next. Oh, sorry, she.
Oh, God. Oh, shit. Again, these are all tied together. This ain't a past, present, future. This is another one tied together. And again, I think that all four of them are tied together. I don't think they split in any way, shape or form.
Oh.
This Jacob is a warning reading. I don't think it's actually a prophetic one. It's more of a warning. Again, it's very similar to what Nikki had, but it's a lot more. It would have greater consequences for you. I know, Jackie the Tower. I always had. Right, you want me to be brutal? I'll be honest with you. There's a decision to be made, and it's got to be made now, Jacob. shut up, you two. You don't need to pipe up. There is an important decision that's got to be made now, and it's one that if you don't deal with it now, it'll get out of your control. Simple as. Um, it could affect you mentally if you don't deal with it. Um, you're going to take on too much, or you're gonna overburden yourself in some way. This is that's the card that's coming off at me at the moment. Is the Chariot. Decision, decision, decision now, not and it's got to be done now, Jacob. This isn't a decision you can put off. This is a really, really important decision for you. Um, and you've got to make the right, like Nikki, you've got to make the right choice, because otherwise this is going to lead to absolute bloody disaster for you. You told me not to hold back, so I'm being honest. Um, and there's a warning coming at the end saying not to go on blind faith. If you want, see, I don't like saying this to people, advising them what to do. If you ask me what I was seeing in the cards, and you do not, under any circumstances, take this as the gospel, but I think from what you've just said there, if you don't cut them off, this is going to be disastrous for you. More so for them. See, I don't like telling people to.
Yeah, I know it's deep stuff, innit?
But I'm telling you what the cards I'm saying. This is a major disaster. Major disaster, because it's right next to the Two of Swords, which is basically leaving things to blind fate. And it's what that is saying is it's totally the wrong thing to do, because this would be totally disruptive and destructive for you. You're going to take on too much. This decision, if you don't make the right decision here, you are going to take on too much. It's going to end up backfiring on you. You could end up hurt more, Jacob, if you make the wrong decision. All I will say to you at this point is, in your head and in your heart, you know what the right decision is. Definitely an head decision rather than a heart decision, I would say. This, you've got to look at whatever this decision is, and it has got to be made now. Hi, Chris. It has got to be made now, most definitely. It's very, very urgent, because that Chariot is just jumping off this reading. And it's saying you're going to take on too much. Be very, very careful not to take on too much, because it is definitely going to be disastrous with the Tower. And it's also saying that what the result of that, whatever comes from all this destruction and all this catastrophe, the result is going to be literally blind faith, blind luck. It could fall one way or the other. All I will say on this, Jacob, is Chris, it's the only one that's been like this tonight, honestly. And this ain't set in stone. This is an advisory, Jacob. This is definitely an advisory. It's just telling you what could happen, not what is going to happen. But it's going to be catastrophic, and it is definitely saying go with the head, not with the heart. You know what the right decision is to make, and you may not want to make the decision, but that's exactly right, Nicky. That's exactly what I was just going to say. You've got to make the decision, even though you might not want to make that decision. But your head will tell you that in the long run, that decision is going to be the right one for you, because it's going to be catastrophic. Otherwise, you're not going to die, or the world's not going to fall in on you, but it's not going to be good for you personally. It's going to send you into one of the low points in your life. Otherwise, and what these cards are saying is this is the low point. This is a low point that can be avoided. And all this is saying is reinforcing that you've got to go with the head and not the heart, because it is catastrophic otherwise for you. It's gonna sink you to a low when there's no need to. And I know it's always difficult when you got to make a decision where it's a case of go with the head or go with the heart. But in this respect, Jacob, these cards are definitely saying go with the head, not the heart, because the head's the right way to go in this one. You're welcome, Jacob. That's all I can tell you. But this is probably the strongest reading of the night I've had. And I know it ain't all sweetness like unicorns and rainbows, but I do believe it's not what's going to happen. It's an advisory warning of what could happen if you don't do the right thing. And it is definitely and it is definitely a good and a bad choice. But it's also a decision that's got to be made right now. It's a decision that's got to be made right now. You cannot put it off because if amongst all this catastrophe, you're going to have no control over what happens after, because it is literally the final card is blind luck. So you could end up better off or worse off, but either way, it's just a better off or worse off of a negative thing, rather than a better off positive and a negative. Negative, if you know what I mean. It's just the better of two negatives if you don't make the right decision. If you make the right decision, things are going to be fine. Yeah, basically. Yeah, but it is a warning. But you're welcome, Jacob, because that is basically what these cards are saying: is take control for your own good. Because when it comes to the end of it, you're there for life. People come and go in your life, and that's what you've got to think of in this respect. Nobody is with you fully forever. And this is definitely one of these life situations where it's me rather than them, or us, if you know what I'm saying. You've got to do this for your own good, definitely for your own good. But it is vitally important that you sit down, have a good think about your options, Jacob. But your head's telling you what you've got to do. Ignore what your heart's saying in this respect and go with your head. Because sometimes the heart actually makes a better decision than the head, and vice versa. But in this particular situation, it is most definitely it's a head decision, not a heart one. And I hope that helps you anyway, Jacob. But that's the best I can give you at the moment. But please do think carefully before you make the decision. Okay?
Wow.
Yep. I knew there'd be one coming.
Yeah.
It was all being too sweetness and light all night. Hi, Cat.
Hey, cat.
But if I'd rather be honest with people, if they say to me, just tell me, I'll tell them.
Well, yeah, exactly, yeah.
And I would never sit there and say to somebody, you're going to die.
No.
Because I honestly don't think you can predict somebody's death on the tarot cards anyway. No, Jackie, that's what I said. What I'm going to do one of the nights is actually lay out 4 cards, and you lot can read for me, and you can tell me what you lot are getting off them. That'll be quite an interesting experiment. So who's next then, Andy?
Up next is, when Becky pulls the list up, Dave C.
Right, is this the last one?
We've got Angela just after that.
Right, okay.
And then it's to us.
And then you.
Mm-hmm.
So who's this, Dave?
Yeah.
Right, you ain't going to like what I'll say first, because you're going to think this reading's negative, but it ain't. The first one, which is your past, is showing me that recently there's been some kind of physical struggle, probably with health, minor illness, major illness, definitely something physical. It's definitely physical struggle. This is past, so don't worry about it. This is only recently past, so it's nothing that's carrying on into your future. It's gone. But there has been some kind of physical ailment, illness, maybe just generally feeling down or depressed. I said this was going to be a positive, and it is. But this is just an advisory card of what's leading up to. Possibly feeling trapped in something as well, Dave. I don't know whether it's a situation or a relationship. Stop on. What does stop on mean?
I think it's spot on.
Oh, right. Leading into your present, yes, the Ten of Pentacles, which basically is telling me that period of your life is over. Prosperity is occurring now. Um, and linking into your future, which is the Ace of Cups, which is the start of a new emotional attachment to someone or something. Um, I'm getting the impression that this is relationship related. So because the ten, the ten in between, the ten splitting the two, is more of um, a dividing card, saying that this is definitely divided. Your past is definitely divided from your future by the present, and it's saying now you're in more of a prosperous time in it, not necessarily monetary wise, but you're definitely in a more prosperous period right now. Things are definitely on the up and up for you, and they're leading into an emotional thing, and I get the feeling it's new relationships. That's what I'm getting the feeling it is. Maybe the start of a new personal relationship with boyfriend, girlfriend. I don't know. Um, I never presume anything with anybody. Um, but definitely, it definitely leading up to that. And it's and this person, I've got a feeling you either know them now or you're about to know them. But I get the feeling you probably know them now, and it may have even started now, or it's just leading into that stage where it's going to become more official. If you know what I'm saying, Dave, or more serious. You may you may have a relationship with them at the moment, um, but it's definitely going to start ramping up now to become a lot more serious than what it actually is right now. Um, and it's going to be a good thing. It's definitely going to be a good relationship because it's the ace and it's the start, and it's you know it's the start of the emotional journey sort of thing, and the ace for me always signifies new relationships. Um, but I do think you know them now, Dave, and I think maybe you are possibly just involved with them more casually, or you know things aren't as clearly defined as they're about to become. It's definitely going to ramp up from now, definitely. Leading on to your final outcome, it's the Page of Wands, which again is a bodily thing, and it's like it's come full circle. So you know you've come from a bad period um, at the start, health wise, like that, and it's saying with this person signified by the Ace of Cups, you're going to move on in life with them, and things are going to be good for you. You're going to be good together, sort of thing. Um, it's all a start of a journey, and it's one you've got to take with this person, because this person is going to be intricate in keeping you balanced and keeping you. And I know I'm going to say healthy, and that sounds weird, but they are going to keep you healthy, not just spiritually, not just physically, but mentally and spiritually as well. You know, this person is going to be very, very good for you, and you're going to start on a journey together. And this person is going to be very, very good for you. Very good. I would say I would say you're talking possible soulmate type relationship. I really do. You know, I get the impression it's going to be that kind of deep connection when it fully ramps up. There's going to be a massive connection with this person, and a really positive one. And he's basically saying, you know, and that because you've got the ones at either end, but the one at the first one is showing a negative side of the body. The one at the other end is the positive side of the body, and the person is sandwiched in between the two. And it is telling me that they are vitally important to your journey getting there, both emotionally, physically, and spiritually. But that is actually a good reading, Dave. That is not a bad reading at all. But I do get the impression you know this person now, and you may actually be starting a relationship with them or thinking about starting it. But it's definitely going to start ramping up, and they are definitely the one for you. most definitely. So I hope that helps. See, Andy, that was a nice one.
It was very good.
Angela.
Angela Oates, yeah.
You're welcome, Dave. See, Andy, nobody's going to die tonight.
No, that'll be mine.
Oh, what is it with the swords tonight?
I'm going to nip off and get a drink while you're setting that reading up.
Okay. Who's this? Who was this for now? I need to know who I'm reading for. Who is it? Becky? Becky, please tell me who I'm reading for. I forgot the name. Can Becky hear me? Sorry about this, guys. Angela. Thank you, Angela. Thank God for that. Right, Angela. Right. Again, this is another interesting one. Right, what it's saying in your recent past, Angela, and this is going to sound really, really weird, is I'm getting the impression that recently you've come to the end of some kind of belief in something. A loss of, because it's linked with temperance. I'm getting the impression is you've lost faith in something very, very recently, and it's something that's been very important to you for a long time. But you know you're losing faith in, so you've either lost it or you're in the process of losing faith in something that has been very important to you for a long time. You know, this is stretching back years, whatever it is. But you've either just lost faith in it, or you're well on the path to losing faith in whatever it is. I can't tell you if it's a person or a situation at the moment, or a belief. It's a really weird one, Angela. But I'm definitely getting the impression there's a loss of faith in something. It may come to me as we carry on. Temperance. See, temperance to me, because it's an angel, always signifies faith. It's self control and faith. It's that kind of thing. So it's one of the two. It's either you've lost faith in yourself over something, or you've lost faith in something of a more spiritual level. Is all I can say on that. It's control. It's a loss of control, loss of faith. One of them two is what I'm getting off the. Yeah, thanks, Becky. And this loss is very significant to you, Angela, for some reason. But it's leading on to the Six of Cups, which is an emotional card. Now, for some reason with that, I don't know how old you are, but I'm getting an impression of children. The children are an important part of your future. Now, I don't know whether it's your children or grandchildren, because I don't know how old you are. And for some reason, I don't know why, but for some reason, Angela, I'm getting the impression it's a female. It's a female child, or more than one female child. I don't know if it's children or grandchildren. Cannot tell you, Angela. but they are about to become very significant in your immediate future. And I don't know whether this, they're going to be some kind of healing process for this loss that you're currently enduring. Whatever you're losing faith in, these children are going to be the way forward for you. Um, and I can't tell you whether it's your own children or grandchildren, because I don't know how old you are. But I get the impression it's younger children. I ain't saying babies, but children, definitely not adults. But the most significant one is definitely female. Definitely female. That is what I'm getting. I'm not. There may be lads involved, but the most significant one of these children is going to be a girl, not a boy. But I do get the impression it's probably more than one child. But this girl in particular is going to be the solution that is going to help you heal from what you're currently losing faith in. It's a really funny read in this, Angela, because I can't pin down exactly what it is. But it's this loss connected to the not loss of the children. The children are going to be like the salvation, and the way forward is through these kids or kid. But it's definitely a girl. The main one that is the main focus of this reading is a girl. It's a young girl. And I don't know why, because it leads up at the end to the Staves card, and to me, that's it. That card always signifies a feeling of contentment and a job well done. So it's saying through the help of this child or children, and particularly this girl, you're going to achieve a sense of contentment in your life again. You're going to recover from whatever it is you've lost, and you're going to get back to. There you go. I don't know, Jamie, but one girl in particular is important. It's one girl in particular. But I do get the impression it could be more than one child. But this one girl in particular is going to be important, and she's going to help you get your life back on balance. Through her is how you're going to get back your faith in. I'm not necessarily saying you're going to start re-believing or regain what you've lost, but you're going to find something that is actually going to balance out that loss, and it's going to come through that girl. Definitely girl. Not adult, it's definitely girl. So I hope that helps, Angela. It was a really interesting one, that, because it's the kids. The loss is coming out, but it's the kids. The third card, it's kids is the thing that's jumping out, and it's girl. It's definitely girl, not boy, Jamie. Definitely girl. Most definitely. But that girl or girls but there could be boys involved. But this girl is specifically important. This one girl is specifically important, and she is going to be the key to get your life back to how you want it. She's going to fill the void of whatever you've lost, or bring back the feeling of what you've lost. But this girl is definitely going to be the way forward. So I hope that helps, Angela.
Very interesting.
Yeah, it was actually, that one.
Yeah.
Right. You're welcome, Angela. I like it when go get nasty ones, Andy.
That's it.
What time is it, Andy?
It is 10:30.
We're going to have to shut it now, because if doing your two...
Yeah.
Because I'm doing... Right, now you're going to see a full spread done. Can you let Bo know that we've...
Bo, we've closed lists for tonight, but Brett does them every Sunday. Are you doing one next week, Brett?
Yeah, I'll do one next Sunday.
We can put you on list for next week if you'd like to pop in. We start them at 9 p.m. UK time. More than happy to put you down on list. Hi, Tara.
I didn't even realise she was your friend, Jamie, to be honest with you. Hi, Tara.
Or was this one for Brett that you're doing?
You.
Oh, is this one mine?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, cheers, Jackie. I need some.
Right, I'm going to have to lay this out one card at a time, Andy, because I can't fit the Celtic Cross onto the
Yeah, no
table.
worries.
Right. Ooh. Right, this is the situation as it is now, and basically represents you. Wheel of
Hmm.
Fortune, good start. It signifies a change of luck, either for the better or the worse.
Yeah.
Um, because it's not upside down, I do actually get the feeling that it's a positive turn of luck. Um, it does also signify that at the moment you are at the mercy of the fates.
Yeah.
Um, obviously you've got some control over what goes on, but you've got to accept the fact that part of it is going to be down to pure luck
Right.
or will of the fates. Not a bad card to start on, Andy. At least we don't turn over the tower. Ooh, Andy. This is what crosses you at the moment, and this is what you consider barriers to achieving what you want. Um, Now, the barrier it's saying to me here at the moment is an initial emotional connection because it's the
Yeah.
ace. It's the Ace of Cups, um, which, like you've just heard me say, is the start of relationships and stuff.
Hmm.
And that is the I couldn't have set that card up better. Um, that is a really interesting one because that is actually signifying as a the current. Just heard a strange sound. It was probably somebody shouting past me the gravy in the background. Um, I've got something to tell you all after these readings about the gravy, by the way. Uh, it's saying that the problem that's crossing you at the moment, the immediate barriers are this initial emotional connection to someone, Andy.
Okay.
Okay? Um, Up to you to decide exactly what you consider that to be. But that is basically what it's telling me at the moment is that is what it is.
Yeah.
Right. We can do that one there. And we can put the one there. Now consider that at the bottom, okay? That one there. And consider that one at the top. Can you see that one is King of Cups?
Yeah.
Right. Fucking hell. Okay. Right, we'll start with justice. See, you can reverse these, but I always consider the right card as what's happened in the recent past. Recent past is justice, which is judgments, decision making, um, a time to seek retribution. But I don't think that's what it means in this case.
Yeah.
I do think it's basically signifying that judgments have been made and situations or paths are settled finally
Hmm. Yeah.
into what you want, right?
Makes sense. Yeah.
So
Yeah.
you've basically made the choices now. You've made your judgments, and you're going to stick with them. Okay.
Okay.
That next one I don't like. That signifies problems that lie beneath that you're not aware of.
Okay.
Who's on the channel, Andy?
You are?
Right, I'm going to say this. I'm just going to say it. Look at the
Yeah, yeah.
colour of the
Wait.
guy's hair, right?
Yes. Yeah.
And that signifies somebody who's intellectual, and
Uh
it's a
huh.
man.
Yeah.
And they are a hidden problem.
Yeah.
They're the problems that lie beneath. Okay,
Okie dokie.
am you understanding what I'm saying here? I don't want to reveal.
Ah,
I don't want to
totally
reveal.
understand.
I don't want to reveal too much because.
Yeah.
But this man is the problem. You're not you might well I say you ain't aware of him, but you ain't aware of what he's doing intellectually,
Yeah.
because he's the king of swords and the sword represents the intellect, and the king is always a male, and it's a man, not a boy.
Yeah.
If it
Yeah.
if it had been a page, I'd have said it was somebody else. But
Hmm.
one, the colour of his hair is drawing me straight away,
Yeah.
and two, I know what because the king is showing and in the Celtic cross that is a lot more of the negative position, because
Yeah.
it's the stuff you don't know about that's
Yeah.
going on at the moment, right? Into the near future, because it's linking to him, there's a battle coming up,
Yeah.
and I think you can read these for yourself,
Oh yes.
because as you can see, them struggling, and it's saying that this is a battle of wills as well. I don't think you're going to go in the street fighting, because it's the king of swords. He's not. It doesn't signify um, a physical battle. You would have needed the king of wands to be there for that. The
Yeah.
king of swords is indicating with strength an intellectual battle. So to me, that says a battle of wills,
Yeah.
and this is coming up into the next 6 months.
Right.
Okay, I can't see yet until we get the next 4 cards out what's going on and which way to go. But
Yes. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
just be aware that there's a battle of wills, and it's coming up. It hasn't happened, it's coming up. And he links directly. There you go, even Kat says I can read these cards. It's linked to the King of Swords, because the lower card always signifies what lies beneath.
Okay.
And they are the issues that you're unaware of.
Hmm.
And the King of Swords, the issue you're unaware of, is the intellectual man. Okay,
Yeah.
not that you're not aware of him, you're not aware of what his impacts are. Okay,
Yeah. Yeah.
and because you've got strength into the future, and it links straight into him, that signifies a battle of wills with this man, and I think you know where that's leading.
Yeah.
Right, now we'll go on to hello. This is how you see yourself.
Okay.
Right, now straight away it's the 7, which I know,
Oh,
which I know is extremely important to you. But
it is.
it's the 7 of Cups as well, which is the emotional. Um, so to me, if you look at that card, there's a little guy actually walking off into the distance,
Yeah.
and that is saying that the number 7 is significant to you, but in an emotional thing. So what it's saying is you may be seeing yourself at the moment at the level where you need to be emotionally, and you're walking away because you're not walking away from your emotions, but that's telling me that you're fixed in your emotions now. That you see that you're grounded. You
Yeah.
don't need to keep tending your emotions. You're content with them. You can
Yeah.
walk away and leave them now because you're perfectly fine with them.
Okay.
Okay. Um, so that does indicate that there's no, on an emotional level, you see yourself as fairly stable. Um, you don't need to, but you don't need to keep tending the emotional side of things, is what that's
Yeah. Yeah.
saying.
Yeah.
Things are set, and you can just leave it as it is now, because
Cool.
you're settled in your emotions. You're walking away from it. It don't mean you're walking away from your emotions. It just means that emotionally you've set yourself now, and you can just walk away from that and deal with other things in your life.
Yeah.
So that's saying that's okay. Now's the card I like, because this one is how other people see you.
Oh.
Guess
Oh
what you've
no.
got, Andy?
I have got no idea.
You've got the Fool.
All right.
But
Fantastic.
um, it signifies the start of new journeys. And if you consider what you do, that people see you as a starting point on a new journey. So personally, I think that relates to the Fae things that people come on your channel. Most people into the paranormal haven't really experienced anything about the Fae,
Yeah.
so it's you they go to start the journey off. When they discover you, see, because this is how other people see you.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
they see you as the start of it. Now, Chris, it don't mean they see him as an idiot. Honestly, it's the start of a journey. He's the beginning of the tarot, the Fool, and it's also a leap. It actually signifies a leap of faith into the unknown. So that
Cool.
they see you as the springboard into the unknown. So
I quite like that. Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah. I
it's
quite
and that
like
is,
that.
but I know somebody else got this recently, and I ain't getting the same vibes off the card as I did with them. It is definite. That is definitely saying that people see you as a springboard into, the unknown,
Yeah. Yeah.
because that's what the cliff edge things. Because the dog is the guardian,
Yeah.
and the dog is considered to be advising the person that they're about to walk off the cliff, so they don't walk off it blindly. So
Yeah.
that's what it signifies, and it's the guardian aspect of the card that's coming through. So basically, it's saying that they see you as a springboard into the unknown because you're the one who warns them before they take the leap of faith. Okay?
Okay.
Oh, I know what I did forget to read. King of Cups. Right. Your King of Cups, which is your best outcome at the moment, is basically success on an emotional level.
Right.
So, this battle of wills that's going on, you're going to come out emotionally as the victor. Because
Right.
it's the King of Cups. So, the battle for emotion, you're going to end up as the victor because you've got the King, which is the ultimate cup card. It's the it's the paramount, it's the regal, top regal card of cups. So
I
knowing what you
kind of
know,
like how that's tying up to others as well.
right? Okay, but it is showing you come out as the victor, right?
Yeah.
Hopes and fears, perfect card. Well, it's hopes and dreams. Hopes and dreams. You've got the Ace of Swords, so that basically tells me you are always searching. Your hopes and dreams are always new knowledge, learning new knowledge, because that is what
Yeah.
the Ace of Swords signifies. It's the start of new knowledge, because the swords represent the mind.
Yeah.
It's the mental. So basically, what that is saying to me is hopes and dreams are all based around those original ideas, learning new
Right.
things. This is actually coming out as a perfect reading for your Andy, to be honest.
It isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah. It
Um,
really is.
so that is quite interesting. That the intellectual is what you strive for, the knowledge. It's all to do with the mind.
Yeah.
Physical, emotional side of things you're not so bothered with, and the material. It's all about knowledge with you, and particularly to get the ace, which is basically new knowledge and the start of new knowledge, starts of new ideas. Okay,
Cool.
final outcome. Overall victory intellectually, because the guy at the front, what I'm getting off that, if you can see, there's actually three people in that picture. The other two are walking off with the swords down and walking away from the guy at the front who's still standing there with his sword up. So that is basically telling me that ultimately, you're going to be the victor intellectually.
Right.
What you're hoping for on an intellectual level, you're going to get, because
Cool.
it's victory.
Yeah.
I don't know who the other two symbolise. I couldn't tell you, but it does say that whatever. I think they, to me, at the moment they're coming across to me as more as mental obstacles than actual physical people.
Right.
And that's saying, whatever obstacles you have to face on a mental level, you're going to defeat and drive off, and
Yeah.
that is the final outcome of it. He's the white rabbit leading people into the rabbit hole. It's actually a dog. um, yeah, we can say that dog's a white rabbit for you, Andy. He's leading you down the rabbit hole. Or you're
That's
leading
why I
him.
always. That's how I always explained it to Bex when I saw a rabbit hole and jumped in.
Yeah. But that is saying on an intellectual level, you are going to come out the victor.
Okay.
So even if there's any intellectual problems that come across or you encounter, you're going to
hmm
overcome them.
Yeah, I
There
can
was
see what it's all tying up with.
yeah. Well, I don't know. There's various things I could see it could tie up with, but
Yeah.
you've got to tie that bit up for yourself.
Yeah.
But that's really interesting. There was nothing negative in that at all, and there were some very interesting cards in some very interesting places there.
Yes, very much so.
Particularly the King of Swords and
Uh-huh.
the Ace of Swords were in a very interesting place, as was the Fool.
Yeah.
But the best counter to the King of Swords, one of the best counters is strength.
Yeah.
So, if you'd have had the Tower there, it would have been an entirely different story.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
So, that one weren't a bad one at all.
Yeah, very good, thank you.
Okay, does Becky want hers?
You got one, Bex? She's nodding.
No problem, Jackie. You have a good night.
Good night, Jackie.
It's alright, folks. I'm doing these two big spreads for Andy and Becky because I have been promising to do them for weeks. And every time we've arranged to do them, we've been that busy doing somewhere else. We've never actually got round to doing them. So I said I'd do them tonight. Right, and I'm going to flip these and blend them together. Not very well, but I did it. I don't think I've had any overly negative ones tonight. I've had a few warning ones, but nothing.
Warning, yeah, but it's not been no like disastrous, has it really?
Yeah, I like it when I don't get negative ones.
Yeah.
I don't mind if people say, "Oh, just tell me," because then I'll just tell them. But some people take it too literally, and they take what you're telling them as gospel, and it ain't gospel.
Yeah. Yeah.
It is subject to so many changes. Right. Oh. Right, what they're saying to me at the moment, Becky, is Becky's in a state of contemplation. I don't think it's the negative aspects of the card in this respect. I might change my mind when I turn the next one over. But the first thing that pops out of me out of it is it's more of a contemplation. It's just no need to go one way or the other at the moment. Becky's just basically settled where she is. She's in a position where she's okay right now. There's no need to go one way or another. Her life's as she wants her life at the moment. But I will put the next one on it now to check. Oh, wow. The Magician. That's an interesting one to cross you there with that. Because what that says to me is basically she's not making the most of her potential, Andy.
Yep. I agree.
There's something there that she's got that she's not making use of, and I have no idea what it is, but it's craft wise. It's craft wise. It's definitely of a magical sense.
Yep.
Because that's what the magician thing basically it means is brewing me tea for forevermore. But that is because it's with the hangman, where she's totally static at the moment, and she's been crossed by the card of magical craft, which tells me that
This couldn't be any more perfect, even if you wouldn't realise.
she's not taking full advantage of her talents, and I've no idea what it is, but it's definitely of a magical craft nature. I don't necessarily mean pagan, but of a magical nature.
Yeah.
If you know what I mean.
Yep.
Okay. Um, I can squash the ones round it. Ooh. Okay. Um, okay. Um, this is right. Right. Immediate past is showing the devil. Now the devil again, I think, is linking straight into that. He's linking into the first two in the middle, and
Okay.
basically, as you know, the devil doesn't necessarily mean evil, but it does mean bondage and entrapment. And
Mhm.
I'm telling you why I'm thinking this, Andy, because I think it links directly to the card that's hidden and she's not aware of.
Okay.
The devil and the Nine of Swords, I honestly believe are linked, and I think she's trapped herself in a certain way because she's doubting her own talents.
Yep.
Is what I'm getting, because that bottom card, which is problems you're not aware of, is telling me on a subconscious level, because it's the Nine of Swords, which again is intellectual, and it's linking to the devil, that she's actually trapping herself into a situation of her own making because she's doubting herself.
That's correct.
Okay?
Yep.
That is what I'm getting off them too. And it is most definitely of her own doing. It is not somebody trapping her, or or keeping her chained up or restricting her. It
Mhm.
is most definitely self-inflicted, and I don't even know if she's 100% aware she's doing it.
Oh, she is. She will be.
Right. Well, but it's definitely saying it's of her own doing. It is most definitely of her own doing, and it's on an intellectual level. Is it's a conscious thought process
Yeah.
of entrapment. But I'm still getting the impression she ain't fully aware of exactly how much she's restricting herself.
Right.
I think she's aware, she knows she is, but I don't think she realizes how much she's actually what she's how much she's actually capable of.
Yeah.
Okay, apart from brewing nice tea.
Well, this
Um,
is it.
Going into the future, we've got the King of Wands, which is a very masculine element of the body, which is he's the ultimate Earth card. So it tells me that she's basically needs to find a grounding for herself.
Yes.
She needs to find her ground, her own balance, right?
Mhm.
Has got to stop all this self-denial and self-doubt, and it's saying coming into the future, she needs to ground herself. It's vitally important she grounds herself.
Yeah.
Okay. Going on to the top, which is best outcome as the situation currently stands, which is the Three of Swords. Again, it's stabbed through the heart, and what that's saying to me is she's letting her head rule her heart, and
Yes.
it's time she flipped that over. It's time that needs to be flipped over, because otherwise she's not going to find the balance. She's always going to let her head take over her heart, and that's what the three swords plunging through the heart signifies. They're putting
Mhm.
an end to the emotional side of things, and she needs to find that balance where the head and the heart find the middle ground.
Yeah.
Okay, because otherwise she's going to limit herself, and she shouldn't be. And this is definitely a kick up the arse read in this one.
Oh, it is.
The
Yeah,
way these are
definitely.
coming out, because they're saying she's capable of so much more, but she's deliberately holding herself back, and she shouldn't be.
Yep.
Okay, this is how she sees herself. It's the Fool,
Oh.
and I actually think this is on the level it actually states it is.
Yep.
And I think she's frightened of appearing foolish.
Yep.
And I think that's what's holding her back. I think this card has summed up where the problem is.
Exactly.
Because it's how this is how she sees herself. And to me, that is saying that basically she's frightened of doing things, and she's frightened of the fact of failing and appearing foolish.
Yep.
This is definitely where the problem lies with this. This is how she sees herself, and it's come as the fool. I don't think this is this is signifying her as going on a journey. I think this is literally signifying the fool itself. That she is absolutely terrified of appearing foolish in front of people,
Yep.
or even feeling foolish to herself when it shouldn't be, because this is definitely how she views herself card. But again, the dog is there as a guidance, and
Yes.
that is coming as just as a side note to say, don't worry about falling, because one, there's always somebody there to catch you, and two, there are people there in the first place to stop you falling.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Now the fun one, how everybody else is at. The King of Cups.
Ah.
Extremely interesting again. Because the King is the penultimate card of emotion.
Yeah.
So that means people see her as a very loving person. And I ain't being funny, but the minute I turned this card over, I thought of Jason.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because of how he reacts to her.
Yeah. Definitely.
And it signifies as other people see her as a very open-hearted person. And because the King is the ultimate, and it's really interesting how he's getting all these royal cards coming in.
Mm.
But external people see her. She's definitely got a lot of hidden talent, Stephen, and she's inhibiting herself. But other people are seeing her as a very kind and open-hearted person. Very much of the, as not as a Mother Earth, but more as a Mother Earth, but Mother Earth from the loving side, rather than the Earth side. If you know what I'm saying, Andy.
Yes.
And oddly, a sign of water, which is totally at odds to a sign. But that is definitely saying that other people see her as a very loving and open-hearted person. That is the best card you can get if you want people to say, oh, as a lovely person, thinks of everybody. That is
Yeah.
always the card that signifies it. Very much open. Right. Hopes and wishes. Another royal card. Prince of Pentacles. I get the impression that she'd probably like to start her own little business up. Hopes and wishes.
That's interesting.
I'll tell you why. Because the Knave, because it's the Pentacles, it's what's considered the juvenile of the royals. It either signifies, a teenager or a young person, if it's actually referring to a person, and it isn't in this respect because it's the hopes and dreams, so it's not that. Or the other thing of it is, it's budding ideas. It's the start of the ideas, and because it's the Pentacles, it's of the material. And basically, I think hopes and fears, I don't know whether she's openly admitted it or not, but I think she would secretly like to do her own little business.
Yeah.
All by herself.
I've got a bit of know how in that one.
Right, okay.
Yeah.
But that is what has fallen in the hopes and fears. And to me, that is saying budding business ideas for hopes and fears. So to me, the logical step for me with that is basically doing her own little thing business-wise.
Right.
Is what that's saying. Oh my God. Final outcome. Would you believe it? King of Pentacles.
Really?
So basically, she's got wands, pentacles, and cups. All the kings. Apart from the fourth one. But to me, that tells me overall final outcome is total material success. Whatever she wants in the world materialistically is going to come to her. I could make a fortune making rose petal tea, Stephen. I'm telling you, making up. I'd be her biggest supporter. I'd be broke and she'd be rich. Um, that is definitely saying that and particularly linking to this business thing, Andy. That there's definitely material success at the end of all this for her.
Right.
Most definitely. Most definitely. But
Very
that was
interesting.
a very interesting reading, that one.
It's her to a T. You won't believe how much it was accurate. She's looking at she's peeping at me on the back of the chair with this like a little grin because she knows how accurate it was.
Well, that's all I can tell you, but that was what I was getting off them. So
Yeah.
there you go. So that is the end of the card readings, but we'll have a general discussion now. Is there anything you want to start off with, Andy, so I can have a quick sip of coffee and shite? Do you want to tell them a bit about what we did in your video, how your video's gone?
Oh yeah. What from other day?
Yeah. Or anything that
Yeah.
happened that you want to reveal around in the video?
Oh. Well, yeah. Go on then. So I'll tell you one little interesting factor that I couldn't really put it in video because it had made video about 2 hours long.
Right.
But you know the static cam
Yeah.
that we had looking at the bear in the tree?
Yeah.
There was some very, very, very interesting movement around that camera. And it
Right.
was going on and on and on. And it sounded like something was jumping out of the tree
Mm-hmm.
and rolling across the
Well, that's what
floor.
I said to you. I could hear someone trudging like a rock. It sounded like a
Y-
rock was being bounced into the tree.
Yeah, yeah. And you got your proper sort of trudging footsteps through leaves and
Yeah.
all that sort of stuff. Some interesting, well, very low. Thing is, with this, I couldn't put it in
Mm-hmm.
because with the video compression, it'd have lost the sound.
Yeah.
But there was musical notes being played.
Or was there?
Yes,
See, I haven't gone through that the Tascam yet, Andy. So
that may well have picked them
I'll
all
I'll
up.
go through the Tascam tomorrow and see what it's picked up.
It could have picked some really strange noises up. Trust me.
Cool. Right, I'm just going to reward myself with a cup of liquid gold.
Yeah, you do right.
Oh, because my throat's as dry. It don't help I've got this cold, but right. What is really interesting about what the video? I don't know how many of you have watched it, but I released the video I'd done on the Spirit Box session at the Fair Garden last
Yes.
night as a premiere. While I was putting it together, I actually sent a copy of the video to Andy before it was made public, and I had missed an actual phrase. It's a pleasure, Becky, honestly. I had actually missed a phrase towards the end of the video, and basically, this really strange, deep voice, part way through the video, suddenly blurts out, gravy. So, I don't know how
Ah,
many of you are aware of what happened last week with my coffee being poisoned with gravy, but if you want to go and look at the video, if you ain't seen it after this, it's the one I uploaded yesterday, and I believe it's round about 9 minutes 13, and you will actually hear the word gravy come out the spirit box in this really low, gravelly voice, which you never hear again the entire stream. Um, the other interesting one we got was this really high pitched one. Where did you hear that one, Andy?
I did, and I couldn't tell what it was
I
saying at
hadn't got a
all.
clue what it was, but it actually sounded. I actually meant to slow that down because
Right.
to me it sounds like it's somewhat sped up.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna because it went
Yeah. 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 It did.
because it actually made me jump when we were doing the spirit session, the spirit box session, because I was sitting right by the box, and on it is Becky. Gravy is stalking me. The other interesting thing I had on the spirit box, and I have never ever had it happen to me before, and oddly enough, Sam mentioned it a few weeks ago. I actually heard myself on the end of the spirit box session. Right at the
Yeah.
very end, as we're saying bye, a voice says hello, and it basically actually sounds like me saying hello. The Robin is actually on the video, Stephen. If you look, I do actually show him on the video at one point. But
And I've got the Robin coming through on both your spirit box right at beginning
yeah,
and also my SB7. It
all
says
right,
it says when I said what's that bird that's flying around, it says he's gorgeous, Robin.
all
That's what
right.
it said.
Did
Yeah.
she manage to catch that bit where it said fairy plane?
Unfortunately, she didn't hit the
Damn,
camera at that point.
damn.
Yeah.
Because it actually said fairy, and then a few phrases after it said fairy plane.
Yeah.
But the thing was, when we got there, I actually turned the spirit box on for us to listen to while we were getting all the bits of equipment set up. And on my spirit box, I was actually getting things like fairy and fairy plane coming through
Yeah.
while Jason was holding it. Yeah, if you have another look, Stephen, the Robin's actually on it. But at one point, before we started filming and I was setting the spirit box up, he actually hopped onto the end of the sewer cesspit thing while I was putting the spirit box. He was literally 2 feet away from me, and that Robin had got no fear of anybody. He also sat on Andy's bear at one point as well, which was rather funny. But
Yeah, really cool.
you know, there's a lot of myths and stuff surrounding Robins, and
There is. Yes.
you know, believe it or not, there's even Christian myths surrounding him because it's basically
Yeah.
the blood of Christ in it on his breast. Not that I believe that.
No, same here, but you know.
But is there anything
Fr-
anybody'd like to ask us in chat while we're just generally babbling? Becky says he kept flying off when I was trying to get him on the camera. He literally followed me and Jason right round the garden, Becky. As soon as we went down to do that spirit box, that first one, he was there. He followed us down, and he was grubbing for worms. But as soon as I put the spirit box down, he actually hopped onto. And I wish I'd got, because my phone was in the rig in the bag. I hadn't got it on. I wish I could have got it quick enough because he was literally less than 2 feet away from us. And he just sat
Amazing,
there
that, innit?
staring at the spirit box, which I found, really interesting.
Yeah.
But if you listen to that spirit box session, I actually asked them, "Is the Robin connected to you?" And as I'm asking the question, the response as I'm actually asking the question, they go, "Of course."
Yeah. Yeah.
Yep.
Oh, I definitely think it were a little spy.
Yeah. Oh, definitely. But it's a shame we don't get those fairy references as well. The other thing I thought that was interesting in the video was the wisp reference, because it's not a
Yeah.
word you hear mentioned on the radio much. It's not a
Yeah.
word you hear in English usage much, is it? Really, wisp.
Yeah, exactly. Hey up, Dag. Um, but yeah, I've got an interesting little capture to go alongside that wisp as well. So yeah, I mean, all in all, I think it was fantastic. It were really good.
Yeah, well, considering it was only a couple of hours, we got a lot of stuff there.
Yeah, yeah,
Jason is adamant he wants to go in the house, believe it or not. And I don't know why I don't know why Andy, because I've never seen Jason. That adamant he wants to go somewhere. So I've definitely got to go back and go in the house with him.
right.
He wants to. He's desperate to go in that house for some reason.
You'll have to look sharpish just in case.
Yeah, I know. I know. So we're gonna have to do it over the next few weeks, I think.
Yeah,
But
yeah. Anytime,
yeah,
I'll go back.
he definitely wants to go in that house for some reason.
Right.
Which I find really, because normally he just lets me decide what we're doing. But
Yeah.
he actually said to me tonight, he says, "I really want to go in," and it quite surprised me. Because he
Right.
actually said, "I really want to go in that house." Because we were laughing about how many times he mentioned the bloody house. I said, "You're obsessed with that house," and he actually said to me, "I really want to go in that house." Now, for
Oh,
Jace
bless
to
him.
say something like that is unusual.
Yeah.
Well, the thing was, Stephen, we didn't actually get there until half past. Was it about 2:30, 2:30, something like that?
Yeah, something like that.
And it went dark early. I had got a light which we could have gone in with, but Ellen needed to get off, and something else was happening there which I ain't going to mention because I don't know whether Andy's actually mentioned it in his video.
It's kind of mentioned in passing, like while we're talking about it.
Right.
Yeah.
So I can't really tell you until Andy's video has been out, but that was another reason why we didn't stay. You know, there was factors that made us decide not to stay
Yeah.
too long because we'd got the lights and everything. We could have stayed there as long as we needed to. The only other limiter was I'd got to get back in time for Friday night stream.
We stream, yeah.
And I literally got back with about an hour and a half clearance, and then I'd got to set up all them psychic experiments and stuff.
You see, do you know what because obviously I've looked at your spirit box really early on,
Yeah,
your spirit box from what you uploaded last night, and
yeah,
then my two, and then that one Jason did.
yeah,
I've like overlooked them all. Overall, there were that many different things trying to get through.
yeah. I know.
I think they were all clashing with each other.
Yep,
That's how it come across to me.
yep,
Because I'd even got bloody Peter,
yeah. Well, I
my
know.
friend Peter coming.
You know, and
And
I honestly think that place is very funny, overbalanced, Sandy. Like I said to you
yeah,
on the night, I think
yes,
whatever's there, balance is very important to it. Very
yeah.
important.
Because it actually brought up the fact as well, just before we cut off.
Yeah,
It actually said wands
yeah,
elements just after it as well.
yeah.
So it wanted us all to have as wands, apparently. We're going to tell it off.
All right. I never thought. Well, I did actually think about bringing it, and then I thought, well,
Did
with
you?
all this stuff in the bag, I'm liable to snapping it.
Yeah,
I'm
yeah,
gonna, have,
yeah,
I'm gonna have to get me a cardboard tube I can carry, I can transport it in,
yeah.
so I can keep it protected in the thing. In answer to your question, Stephen, if you know Jason, Jason doesn't push himself forward for anything, as Andy will tell you.
Yeah, no, it's
I
true,
was
yeah.
surprised he even went in front of the camera like he did that night, Andy. To be honest with you.
Yeah, he did really well, didn't
You
he?
know, I'm surprised that, he didn't try and worm out of it. He actually did it without question. But I honestly think he's being drawn there. And I have actually said numerous times to numerous people, Stephen, that Jason is a magnet where certain things are concerned.
Yeah,
They seem to flock to him. You know, and Andy's come up with a theory of it's because of Jason's birth dates and what he's in terms of element wise.
yeah, yeah. I think it's got something to do with it, and I
Yeah.
think as well, I think it might be, because when us four are together,
Mhm.
I think that might be grounding him and balancing him out so
Yeah.
he's a lot more comfortable as
Yeah.
well
Yeah.
doing stuff,
Yeah.
you know?
You
Yeah,
know, it's really odd. But the other thing that's really odd about that place is the two times we've gone, we've had very funny interactions with birds there.
yes.
Birds seem to feature very strongly at that place, don't they, Andy?
Yeah, they really do, yeah.
You know, that's twice now we've been, and twice we've had very strange interactions with birds. And when you're going on a paranormal investigation, it ain't the sort of thing you look for in it.
Oh,
So
definitely
for
not,
it to
yeah.
be noticed, it is blatant sort of thing. But we had about 50 birds the first time we went to. There was a cheaping on the spirit box, and then they all swarmed the trees, didn't they? Went started
Yeah,
singing
yeah,
to us,
yeah.
and
Yeah.
then this time it was this bloody robin who was literally stalking us around the garden. But yeah, Stephen, I definitely think that he's being drawn in there because if you know Jason like I know Jason, he ain't big on creepy things, but he's adamant he wants to go in that house, which is really odd to me. For him to say, for him to actually state it tonight, it really surprised me. The fact he said,
Interesting.
I want to go in the house, and I was like, well, why do you say that on the night? And we could have gone in, but he's adamant he wants to go in, Andy. Absolutely adamant he wants to go in,
Right.
and that is really odd to me.
We'll have to make it so.
Hmm. It'll be interesting to maybe he's being called there for a reason.
It might be where tea party's going to happen.
Yeah, that was another interesting thing. Because you're a bit dubious. It's a bit dubious accepting offers off the Fae without finding out what the what the payoff's got to be. Because so Andy's been advising me you don't get nothing for free off the Fae. There's always a price to pay. So a free tea was not going to be a free tea. Yeah, we'll definitely film it, Stephen. We'll go back and film it
Oh, yeah, definitely.
to see what happens. But it's very very interesting. He's very very eager to get in that house. Now, Jace is the last person to want to go in an house where, he'd normally be, oh, well, the police might come or blah, but now he's adamant he wants to go in that house. And that, it's so out of character for him, it's unbelievable. Absolutely unbelievable. I will bring the tea for the tea party. Oh, definitely, Becky. Definitely be bringing the tea. But yeah, Andy's premiering his video on shoot. What time are you doing it, Andy?
Probably about 8 o'clock Tuesday night.
Right, okay. I presume you'll put a thing up before then anyway with the
Yeah,
time and
yeah,
thing.
yeah,
But yeah, my life's really weird at the moment. I'm being stalked in my kitchen, stalked when we're out on location, and stalked on YouTube. So I'm having quite an interesting life at the moment. Anybody put anything else? No, I will bring tea to the party. That was the last one. Anything else anybody would like to ask or talk about? But it might be worthwhile taking the ones next time, Andy, if they've specifically been asked for.
Yeah, definitely.
I'll provide the data. Stephen, it's an amazing garden because you can tell by looking at it, it was really loved and looked after when people lived there
Yeah,
before the
definitely.
fire. But it's amazing how fast nature's reclaiming it. And the one pine tree that's in the garden, the one big pine.
It's absolutely huge, isn't it?
I've never seen a pine with such a thick trunk in this country. He did that pine is really old, and it's got to have been there long before the house was there.
It's got to
And
be like at least a few hundred
it's
year,
got to
hasn't
be.
it? At
It's
least.
got to be. It's got to be. And I think, and it's nice to see that they actually respected the fact it was there and ain't chop it down, sort of thing.
Yeah, yeah, definitely.
It's in fairyland, Stephen.
I'm really considering it as a little mini portal. I really am,
Yeah.
because there's something about it.
And another thing that's really interesting is the archway that's been built there.
Yeah,
There's an archway that's been, which we mentioned before when we went the first time, but you can tell this archway has been constructed, but it's not been constructed. You can tell it ain't been done by kids because it's literally all interlocked with branches. So whoever's done it has actually took a lot of time, invested a lot of time and care into building this arch. And they threatened to shoot Andy in it last time we went.
yeah, headshot.
Yeah,
I really wish I had that spirit box recorded,
yeah,
because I could have done like a little previously kind of thing, and
yeah.
it would have followed through lovely. But never mind.
But the
I
thing is,
lesson learned to
we
record.
weren't expecting it to be so good there, though, were we?
No, yeah,
We'd gone more looking for wood than
yeah, yeah,
finding a location to do an investigation at. But the house itself is very interesting. It'll be interesting to see if it's got a cellar when we go in, because
more than likely.
I
It
like
just seems to
cellars.
drop, at
Yeah,
land.
yeah.
Yeah,
Because it is at the top of a hill, so it's quite it could quite easily have a cellar in there.
yeah.
But you can see, even though it's all burnt and stuff, it was a beautiful house in its time. But it's in South Yorkshire, Stephen. Um, I don't really give locations out because it's one of Andy's private places, so I don't narrow it down too much. Just say it's in South Yorkshire. Because you never know who's listening on here, and if certain people start turning up and doing things and ruining it for us.
Some people can really upset an area, though, can't they?
Well, no, no,
I have seen it happen.
I'm thinking more of big channels based around here
Yeah,
who've been
yeah,
known to ruin locations in the past for everybody else. So I'd rather they not know where it is anyway.
yeah.
But yes, it is a real nice location. It ain't that we don't want to tell you. It's just that we just want to protect it from certain people because it is a good spot. It is a good spot. But have you got anything? Andy's got another. Have you going to tell him about your other thing you got planned in December?
Well, yeah, I've got two things coming up. We've got um, a 2-night investigation at Rosa's house, which is Hell's House Paranormal. We're going to be doing a massive live stream the first night with Rose herself, and then she's leaving us for the second night, and we've got house to ourselves to do a video.
That should be fun.
Well, with some of the stuff that she's told me that goes on there, I don't know. Especially with my elf at
I,
minute.
I don't like all them bloody mannequins has got, they creep me out.
Yeah, I was watching
They
we had a new
absolutely
one
creep
last
me
night.
out.
She was tickling its feet and everything.
Alright.
But apparently, anybody with ill health, it kind of plays on that in that house. She says,
Hmm.
and as you know, with what I've got, I'm a bit, you know.
Yeah.
But good thing is, I've got Tommy walking in there. I'll send him in first.
Well, that's it. Make sure you don't get attacked by any bloody walking undead mannequins. See, I've said that Rose should team up with Sam because
Yeah, definitely.
you know that'd be the perfect combination. Rose's mannequins and all Sam's bloody dolls.
Yeah,
I could take that evil one-eyed thing with her to talk to Rose's mannequins.
yeah. On live stream last night, she tried to sit on a stool and fell straight off it.
Who, Sam?
Rose.
Rose.
I says, you know what? I says, you and Becky are going to get on a treat.
Mm. They should send Jace there with them and all. It'd be
All
like,
three on them.
yeah, it'd be like watching the Marx Brothers, Oppo, Bracho, and Marco.
Oh dear.
Yeah,
So yeah.
Rose's place is really interesting,
Hmm.
but she's got it full of mannequins and dollies and stuff, and it's just creepy, creepy.
Yeah.
She's very much like Sam from Life After Life. Oh God, not mannequins. Yes, Sam had a nice experience with mannequins a couple of days ago. Did you see the video, Andy?
I hadn't, no, we've been being in hospital on that. I hadn't caught up with it yet.
Have a look when you got a chance.
Okay.
She sticks her head inside this little hut and she finds there's these two mannequins to the right, and as it spins the camera around, they're just there, but it looks like they're doing something they shouldn't be.
Oh. Yeah, I'll definitely have to go and have a watch of that.
And it frightened the life out of her. Stephen said, when are you going to Roses?
It will be the 9th and the 10th. Yeah.
There you go, Becky's put
So
it
not
up.
not too long away.
Yeah, that'll be coming soon. Um, and then you got another one on the 14th, ain't you? Which, have you told them about that one?
On the 14th, we're doing us little like special end of year kind of little thing at the big hall, the Masonic hall, and that's going to be like sort of. It's going to be Ellen's first proper indoor terrifying place kind of investigation. So I'm really looking forward to it because she did really well overnight.
Yeah.
But an indoor when you're trapped in there and you can't leave, I can't wait to see how she fares with that. But we've got Jamie coming along with that one as well, so that's going to be really interesting.
That's Jamie from Total Darkness Paranormal.
Total darkness, yep.
But it should be a good night. We were meant to be going, but unfortunately, with the dogs at the moment, and it looks like I might possibly actually be moving that weekend now. So
Really, wow.
yeah, I'm just waiting for him to settle things up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, there'll be more
Oh
opportunities
yeah,
for that place
definitely.
'cause it's not going nowhere at the minute.
Mm. You know, if I'd have knew I was still going to be here, it wouldn't have been so much of a problem because Alison next door had a pop round, and or Claire the other side,
Ah,
and
right,
they'd
okay.
have let the dogs out for me. But because I
Yeah,
don't, you know, the new neighbours, I don't know 'em,
right,
you
yeah.
know, and I can't very well turn up on that week and go, oh, by the way, can you let my dogs out all night long? Because Coco would savage them anyway. Because it takes Coco weeks to get used to people. So
Right.
yeah, unfortunately, Alexandra, we finished the readings for tonight. I tend to do them every Sunday. I might, depending on how I feel later in the week, I might slip an extra one in round about Wednesday time. I'll see how I feel though, but if I do, I'll put an announcement up on the channel. So if you want to sub, I ain't forcing you, and click the bell. You'll know when the next one is. But you don't have to if you don't want to. Just keep checking back on the channel if you want. You know, I don't beg nobody to sub or anything. Oh, I frightened the life out of me then. My Gmail coming up. But yeah, I tend to do them on Sundays, but I am thinking about doing like an extra one, every other week or something. But they do take a lot out of you. There you go, Andy. The thing's working. Please consider subscribing to Andy's channel,
Oh yeah, yeah.
which
Cheers.
is coming up. But yeah, you'll just have to keep an eye on the channel for when the next one's up. I do put them up beforehand so people know when they are. And I'm going to continue doing that. So at least you'll know. But my voice is on the way out, Andy. I can hear it going.
I think what we're going to have to do one night as well is get Ellen on live with you, and she can do a rune reading, and you do a
Exactly.
tarot reading.
Exactly. I wish you would. I tried to encourage you
Yeah,
to come on the other night, but
I'll have,
doing that
I'll
would
have
be
some I'll have
perfect.
some words with you, because that'd be cool, because you get a little break in between each other.
Exactly. It won't just be cool. It'll be giving me a chance to drink my coffee or have a smoke or what's it while she does one.
Yeah,
And Ellen's really good with the runes.
yeah, very
It's
good.
something I've never really got into. I have got some because I made some at the workshop. But I am going to start looking into them. But it'd be nice to get
Yeah,
Ellen on to do it so I could have a little break.
yeah, yeah.
You need to have a word with her.
I will do.
And
I'll
and, and,
I'll
and then
poke
we'll be
over my
doing.
wand.
Yeah. Then we'll be we'll have a night where we're doing both tarot and rune readings for people, which makes
Yeah,
a nice little alternate thing going on.
that'd be really cool.
Yeah. Um, have we got anything planned for Yule yet? Are we doing anything for Yule?
She had that idea, but I don't know. She hadn't advertised it or anything yet, so I don't know.
Right. Okay. Because I wouldn't mind doing something for Yule,
Yeah.
even if it was a little indoor thing.
Well, yeah, yeah,
It don't have to be an outdoor thing, but it'd be nice to do a little indoor thing. But we'll have to have a word with her and see what it says.
yeah, definitely.
Um, I'll tell you where I would like to do, where we could do a couple of readings one of the day, Andy, if he's okay with it. The farm.
Yeah,
That little hut thing with the big round table in it.
yeah,
Try and get some readings done down there and see what we get coming up.
yeah, definitely.
Because
It'd be fine. Yeah, it'd be fine with it.
because it's got a really nice atmosphere. You could invite a few people who
Yeah, 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 yeah,
and I'll just do a couple of readings for them. Won't you just video it
yeah. That'd be cool.
and see how it goes?
Yeah, you could set that up any time. He's even offered for us to stay there overnight.
Oh, that'd be awesome.
Yeah.
That'd
I
be
don't
awesome.
necessarily want to investigate it,
Mhm.
but to experience it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like, yeah, anytime he says we can have that like little summer house thing and put heating on, and if we need to have a sleep, we can like go in there and that.
Yule, Chris, is one of the pagan celebrations. It's one of the lesser Sabbats, but it's basically It's it's when Christians don't realise they're celebrating the pagans for the season because they think they're actually celebrating a Christian celebration, but it's actually a pagan one.
Yeah,
It's basically just to celebrate the midwinter, and it's as winter starts to lose its grip, and we start to turn back towards spring. It's basically, well, it's like the longest day, shortest. What is it? Longest night
yeah, yeah,
before the wheel turns again, and we start to work back towards spring. So it's basically what the Christians based Christmas on, but it's just a celebration, and you traditionally burn apple logs and enjoy the fruits of the harvest and stuff.
yeah. People would like go and get biggest log that they could,
Yeah,
burn it, like engrave runes on
yeah,
for good luck for next cycle and
yeah,
stuff like that. That's why you can still get Yule, like they call it a Yule log, don't they? It's like
yeah,
it's a bloody like a Swiss roll.
yeah. But you ain't supposed to eat your Yule log. You're supposed to burn it.
That's the one.
But nobody wants to burn the chocolate Yule log. But yeah, it's one of the Sabbats of the pagan year, Chris.
They'd usually celebrate it for like a week long, wouldn't they? All families, because you had to keep the log burning, didn't you?
Yeah.
You weren't allowed to let it go out, and if it
Mhm.
did, you had to be straight on it.
Yeah. If
Yeah,
I think the official period, I think, Stephen, is it the 20th of December to the 2nd of January?
that sounds right.
I think it's the 20th of December to the 2nd of January is officially the Yule period, Stephen. What is traditionally considered the Yule period. But most people like to do the 21st, celebrate it on the 21st because it's the winter solstice, obviously.
Yeah,
But yeah, it basically signifies the turning of the year. That it's the last night of darkness before the wheel of the year starts turning back towards the light phase of the year.
and that's where decorating your tree comes from as well, because
Yeah,
people go out and put ribbons and stuff on trees for Faye and stuff like
yeah,
that. As a respect thing.
yeah. If you want to make the Fae happy, the best thing you can do this year, 21st, is go out and decorate a tree, a live tree, and leave it where it is.
Yeah,
Because chopping it up and sticking it in your living room is basically defeating the purpose of what it originally represented.
exactly. It's crazy, isn't it?
Yeah. Oh, Maureen's coming up in the points.
Oh, is she?
Yeah.
Oh,
Becky,
yeah.
Becky will be being challenged before long. They have a chance to play tonight because they were too busy note scribbling. I'll tell you something, I'm enjoying my glass of liquid gold.
Oh, yeah.
It's the second one.
Really?
Yeah, I'm planning
Wow.
on drinking half the bottle tonight.
I've had to cut my coffee intake down for the last 2 days. It's been a
Yeah, well,
nightmare.
you'd have to, wouldn't you?
Yeah.
See, that'd finish me off, Andy, if I'd got to cut my coffee down. Because if I don't have any caffeine, I get headaches.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I'm tired and just don't want to do anything. But yeah, I couldn't live without my caffeine. I've got to be honest. Caffeine and nicotine, they're my two big vices in life.
Same, yeah, to be fair. Exactly the same.
Oh, I'm all gambling now. Um, I think I've finally got all the graphics finalised on here. Um,
Yeah, it's looking good.
yeah, we've got this one now, which I do for the cards, and then we've got that one which we'll be doing for just general chats and stuff. And as you can see, I've got my channel logo and your channel logo all set up.
Yeah, cool.
That's the other one. This is the main one we use for the cards because it's got the main camera on it. But
Yeah.
yeah, I was busy being away today trying to find out what Andy's font was because it was his uh, title underneath his webcam was actually in the font of my channel, and I thought, well, I'd rather have it as is. And then he kindly sent me the star as well, so that got put on. And I tried to match the colour of the letters as close as I could to the star.
Yeah, it looks alright. It looks
Yeah,
good.
yeah, but it's come out all right. But yeah, see, this is the people don't realise the amount of effort you put in on doing anything connected to YouTube. They think it's just sitting in front of a camera and babbling at people.
Yeah.
When you're sitting in a garden, pitch black, and it's like sub-zero temperatures, which is probably part of the reason why I've got this. Should have a Christmas one. What, Stephen? A Christmas themed one. Well, I suppose I think there's a Santa on face rig, Andy.
Is there?
Like little Cupid.
Well, Cupid.
I could do a dirty old Santa one as well for Christmas when we do one of the streams. And I'll tell you some of that video will definitely be tagged as not suitable for
Oh,
kids.
I definitely.
A Christmas oh yeah, I probably will do. I'll put snow on the letters and stuff.
Yeah, I think you'll have to age restrict that one.
Yeah, haven't I? I think you're right somehow. And we will do Valentine's Day. We will do a dirty old Cupid one.
I miss him. I've
Yeah.
missed him, me.
Well, we might do another one before before Christmas. We'll see. We'll have dirty old Cupid putting in an appearance again, but obviously I can't do it while I'm doing the card reading because
Oh no, yeah, yeah, yeah.
nobody will take it seriously at all when I keep giggling. But one of the best pieces of software I bought was that face rig. I can even sit here as a dragon one night and babble to people
Yeah, yeah.
because it's got voice changing software built in as well, so you can change your voice as well as your image, and it face tracks and everything. So it's quite yeah. Santa with a bulging sack. You can all sit on Santa's lap one at a time and tell Santa what you want for Christmas, and see what pops out of his sack.
Oh,
And
oh,
this video is no longer suitable for kids.
yeah. It's like when I explore it. All I had then when you were talking about that, when I exploring channels are frequent. He's an older guy and he's very like old fashioned in some respect, and he always cracks that old fashioned joke. Do you want to see some puppies?
Yeah.
You know, it just reminded me of that.
Would you like a sweetie?
Yeah, yeah, he says that after it as well. Oh, and his mate who he explores me just looks at me and goes, "You can't say that," and he goes, "I just did."
I'm going to join this heist because I've done no heists for ages and I'm poor on my own channel.
I ain't done one for ages either.
I bet I even got 500 points, so we'll see. But yeah, I ain't decided what we're doing this Friday yet. Obviously, I'll put a notification. Oh, I have. I've got 500 points. I'm about to lose.
I think Chris frequents that channel, don't you, Chris? Finders Beepers.
Oh
Proper
yeah,
funny.
I've been on Finders Beepers
Have you?
before.
Yeah, yeah, 'cause local lads, aren't they?
Didn't they get to the Paris catacombs recently?
Yes, yeah.
Yeah, I watched it up until a certain point and then I turned it off.
I know, yeah. I were a bit like,
Yeah. I watched all their bits, but then I kept turning it off.
Yeah, yeah.
There are certain people I do refuse to watch.
Yeah, I worked with Matt and Andy years ago when I was part of Soul Reaper, and it was one of the funniest nights I've ever had in my life.
I bet. Yeah, we're going to have to think what we're doing on the channels for Christmas.
I know.
I'll come up with some at Christmassy. I suppose we could dress up as elves.
Oh,
But
can
not,
you
but not
imagine?
Santa's variety.
Yeah, yeah. Well, I quite enjoyed what I tried to do last year, but apparently there's absolutely nothing to the legend of Krampus at all.
All right.
Yeah.
We should look up one of the old legends linked to Christmas. Well, linked more to Yule and try and do something along that theme.
Well, one of the major ones is the mountain children, but we ain't got mountains here neither, and it's like,
No.
it's difficult, you know.
We'd have to go up onto the moors and pretend we're on a mountain.
Snowdonia.
Yeah.
Yay.
Oh, I've been to Snowdown here.
Yeah, there's some lovely forests up there.
Mm-hmm. It's a shame we couldn't have done that other thing that you'd thought of for.
Oh, that parody. Yeah.
Yeah.
It would have been amazing.
We can always keep that for early next year.
Yes, yeah, definitely.
You know.
If I start putting a few quid to one side, I can just book it outright, so yeah.
We just had to get some insurance and stuff sorted out, which
Yeah.
that I think is a bit of a rip-off, to be honest with you.
Well, I do, and it's a shame because mine's just run out as well, because I had it. I think it were only 38 quid for a year, so that's not too bad.
But considering what you're paying for the place, they should cover that.
They should cover it, definitely.
In my opinion. What other local places we got round here?
What of the safer you can hire out variety or the non?
Either.
We've got tons of non stuff.
I wouldn't mind going to them tunnels. What was them tunnels called?
Oh, Fergalon Tunnel.
Yeah, because I've never been there.
Yeah, definitely.
And
I'll go there anytime.
We've definitely got to do one at Uber Stand.
Oh yeah,
Because
definitely.
I'm convinced there's an elemental there. Absolutely convinced there's an elemental at that cave. Most definitely.
You see, once we get some sort of wheels sorted, it'll be easier to just come and get you both and then just go off somewhere and do something.
Yeah.
So I've got a load of old mills in like Huddersfield that we can do and that.
See, I
And
like mills because you've got all the water energy thing
yeah,
going on
they're
there and everything.
fantastic. Every one I've ever been to has been really high energy.
Chris says he's walked the most of Wales. It's amazing. You don't really want to walk most of the Yorkshire moors because it's rumoured to be full of big cats. You're liable to getting eaten while
Yeah,
in the middle of an investigation.
can you imagine?
Could you imagine coming across a leopard in the middle of an investigation?
You don't know what to do, would you?
Oh, don't start with Slender Man at Uberstand. I never saw him there. Oh God! Did he ever take off in Ireland, Sam? Did Slender Man ever become big over there, like he did over here? Because I noticed once Slender Man and the Dybbuk boxes died off, there was a very short-lived attempt to try and get Goatman going, but it don't seem to
Oh
take off.
yeah, goat
Did you
man,
know?
yeah,
Did you notice, Andy, that
yeah, yeah.
it never seemed to take off very well?
No,
And everybody seems obsessed with poltergeists at the moment for
they
some
do them.
reason.
Yeah.
We are overdue a visit back to see the elves at one of the mills we used to go
Oh
to a
yes.
lot.
Oh yes.
See, I like the mills because of the energy, the water energy element of them.
Yeah.
They're this water harness for energy. Oh, see, Sam says he never took off in Ireland. See, and they say the Irish are stupid. Obviously not.
Obviously not.
All them Irish jokes need to be turned back onto the English.
They do, don't they? It's
Yeah.
right that.
We should say like Englishman, Irishman, Scotsman walks into a bar and Englishman says I've just seen Slenderman and Irishman just laughs. But that video Sam put up today was quite interesting at that place because she didn't do a paranormal one. She just did like a local touristy type one, but
Alright, yeah.
the mannequins were funny. But when you watch it, Andy, have a look at what the mannequins are doing
I will do.
because it looks like they're doing something they shouldn't be in a nut. And I think Sam thought had caught them up to something when.
Brilliant. Oh, I'll tell you what I can get you into, Brett.
Go on.
We've got to do it through daytime. On a Sunday usually is best.
Right.
But I can get you into Barnsley Antique Centre.
That'd be good.
Yes, and I've got access to all back rooms and cellar and everything in there. And that's exclusive.
We ought to
So,
do that because we could do a couple of. I won't call them haunted objects. I'll say attached objects.
yeah.
Because I don't believe things are haunted.
Yeah.
I think they may have energy connected to them.
But yeah, we can do that relatively any time.
Oh, that'd be a good one. At the antique centre. Yes, Sam.
2 year. Oh, go on.
Go on.
I was going to say 2 year ago we actually did Christmas Eve and then following week later New Year's Eve. Because it was so quiet in
Oh,
there.
that'd have been brilliant.
Yeah.
Did you
yeah.
get much in there?
Oh yeah. EVPs galore. Something moved for us. One of Becky's camera handles
Yeah.
actually flipped upright on its head on a box.
Jesus.
It just stood up, and yeah, it was good. It was
Oh,
good.
that'd be interesting. I'd like to do that.
Yeah,
Because I think there's especially with antiques, there's going to be a lot of residual and stuff, ain't there?
yeah, and I mean one of the main things what we found.
What do you believe in residual hauntings?
Oh yeah,
Just not intelligent ones.
yeah.
Yeah. I meant to ask you. That was a question I thought of this morning. I thought I'm going to ask Andy that because I can't see any problem with him believing in residual stuff.
Oh no, yeah, absolutely. I've had many an experience of that kind of stuff.
Yeah. I thought it was two bodies. I thought it was Logan Paul's situation. It scared me to death, lol. It actually looked like he was doggying her in the hut.
Really,
Andy standing up, yeah, that's what it looked like.
brilliant. Oh dear.
But the sort of things people are stuffing bloody, in areas you don't expect to find them. But that's one thing I wouldn't like. I wouldn't be comfortable doing something where there was a lot of mannequins. Like
Yeah.
stuck in a department store overnight in a big
Oh
clothes.
yeah, I can imagine.
It'd be my nightmare. That would bloody mannequins everywhere. Logan Paul, lol. Didn't he get kicked off YouTube for that? He did, didn't he?
I believe so. I don't know if he got reinstated, if he like appealed it or whatever.
I can't remember because I know he actually filmed the body hanging, didn't
Yes, he did.
he? It looked like what? Logan Paul. I thought it was two bodies. Oh my! Do you know that'd be my, like I was saying the other night, Andy. That'd be my ultimate nightmare: going into an abandoned place and either finding a dead homeless
Yeah.
person or finding a murder victim. Could you imagine
Oh,
the hassle?
I
Because then,
know.
then
It'd
you've
be a
got to
nightmare.
convince the police you ain't done it and gone back to admire your
Yeah, yeah.
handiwork, ain't you? Because the person who finds it is the first person under suspicion,
Oh gosh, yeah.
and it's quite common for murderers to return to the scene of the crime to have a look how things are progressing. I was actually watching something yesterday morning on a guy I'd never heard of from was it Oklahoma? John Aykroyd, his name was, and
All right.
he's like a mass murderer, and he was going back to the scene and checking how decomposed his first victim was and stuff.
Really?
Mm, really weird things they do. But see, I'd rather do things like that, unknown places, because I
Yeah.
think a lot of these well-known places they're just overdone. I really
Oh
think them
yeah.
overdone, and I do think East Drive deserves a rest.
Yeah, yeah. No, I agree.
Because it can't be doing the place any good energy-wise to have people in there constantly. And plus, I've noticed there's a book just been released, and surprise, surprise, owner of the house is one of the co-authors, so it ain't like I'm
Right.
getting an unbiased version of it, is he?
Yeah.
He didn't get kicked off, but he lost a lot of brands. I thought he was banned for so long. I thought they actually removed his channel. It's always them cyclists and dog walkers, lol. Yeah? But could you imagine doing an investigation in some abandoned house, walking in, and there's some bloody body cut up and spread all over the room as you walk in?
Oh,
That actually happened to the guy who walks into the Japanese suicide forest. Yeah, that was what's his face. But they just find him. He filmed him and put it on YouTube. They finding the old lady's really a reptile, lol. Dog is Satan hiding in poor pooch, lol. Logan Paul is one of those big YouTubers doing daft stuff, running around and swinging their hands when they walk. Usual. Yeah, didn't he get in trouble again a couple of months back for driving blindfolded when the Birdhouse film came out?
oh,
Do you
I don't
remember that?
know.
I'm sure he got in trouble. He filmed himself driving blindfolded down a road.
Really?
Johnny
Ugh,
Paranormal does decent vids of that forest. See, that is another place I'd be a little bit dubious about going to because I think it's a little, it may be just me, but I think it's a little bit, um, what's the word? Not inconsiderate. Uh,
disrespectful.
Disrespectful.
Yeah.
Knowing what, there are a lot of people who go there and to end it. I think it's disrespectful to go there trying to call them back up because you're calling for tortured souls, basically. I don't watch him either, Sam. It came up on a news item. I don't see it on YouTube. It was on a news item on on Chrome on Facebook. It popped up the one day, and apparently he drove down the road blindfolded. It was something to do with that bird. Was it Birdhouse?
Bird box, I
Bird
think.
box. It was something to
Yeah.
do with that.
Well, a lot of them were trying this bloody bird box thing, and it's like it's a film. You know, and I saw a load of paranormal channels
Yeah, I
doing it,
know.
and I was like, what are you doing? You're just making you sound like bloody fools.
Well, God help us when Disney re-release Aladdin, and the popularity of gins will jump up on the paranormal
Yeah,
channels
it
again.
will, it will.
They'll all be seeing little blue men wearing bracelets and talking like Robin Williams.
Oh, dear.
But if you think about it, poltergeist is the current one at the moment. Is the current trend to, the buzzword to drag them in.
It is, isn't it? It is.
What do you think? What do you think's going to be the new year buzzword? What do you think we're going to go back to?
Oh, I don't know.
We
Oh,
should, we, sh-
Zozo
we
needs to
should,
make an appearance again, doesn't
yeah,
he?
we should start a trend off, Andy, and just invent somebody, and then see how many of them fall for it. I'm sure we could think of some killer fire. I
Could
know,
always start it with red caps,
I
couldn't
know
we?
the red cap of Rotherham.
Yeah, red cap.
I could guarantee you'd be covering that in the local graveyard the next day.
And to be honest, right, I could get my uncle. I could get my uncle to dress up like one because he's only 3 foot now. And he looks right grumpy.
Stick him a red cap on and a pair of big ears, and we're
Yeah.
set. But it just proves how easy they suck themselves into it, and people just
Oh,
fall
yeah.
for it every single time. I ain't being funny, but it's the same with all these polka guys suddenly popping out the woodwork. Why are they only suddenly putting in an appearance?
I don't know.
Here, Gaia says that'd be funny. Gay says that'd be funny. The red cap of Rotherham. Yeah, we could start that, Andy.
I'm really fancying that one.
Yeah, we could make some like paper mache pigs and dogs and cats and say that they've been partly mangled by the red cap.
Yeah, definitely. Just have my uncle running off like tittering.
Yeah, we'd have the graveyards of Rotherham filled with ghost hunters looking for red caps and swearing blind they'd found them. But if you think about it, they do tend to come round in what's it, and they've tried to do a Zozo revival lately. So Slender Man's got to be next, because Goatman weren't particularly successful, was he?
No,
He
yeah,
don't
yeah.
he don't become a big enough buzzword, and we've never really had Mothman over here, have we yet?
No, no.
So we've got to think of one. Yeah, the Red Cap of Rotherham. And occasionally he gets assisted by a renegade leprechaun.
An actual faye'd probably love it as well and all,
We could have your uncle dragged off by loads of people dressed as little brownies, dragging him into the tree. Chris says my uncle rollerblades in Speedos, no joke. Christ, that'd be a sight to see. Welcome to the channel, Gay.
Oh, dear.
You timed it just right to hear about Chris's uncle in his Speedos.
I'm actually considering doing a casting call meet local paper for all little people to come. Obviously, we'd be able to get Jamie to do something because she's only
because
small.
he's little. We can't get Jace to do it because he's over 6 foot.
He is, isn't he?
Yeah. So we can't get Jace to do it. We'd have to, ask for the vertically challenged. We'll put a notification in the Rotherham Star. Wanted garden gnomes.
Oh,
Lee's
dear.
dear. We'll have one of his museum and Zach Pagans.
You
That's
could
what
leave
Becky
little red hats in me.
That's what Becky could start a business off as. Mummified gnomes. Like the fairies they do on
Yeah,
YouTube.
oh yeah, yeah. We've dabbled with that before.
Becky could do a line of mummified gnomes and leprechauns.
Just leave them about in parks all over the
Yeah.
Yorkshire.
Well, all you've got to do is melt action men down and dress them in little green suits and say them leprechauns.
It'd be
Just put
terrifying.
a big bottle and some fake, some of that chocolate money in a pot, and you wave
Yeah, yeah.
away.
Oh, dear.
Oh, could you imagine putting a notice in the Rotherham Star or Barnsley Chronicle?
Yeah.
Vertically challenged people needed for paranormal spoof movie.
We're gonna get really bad names for ourselves here, you know.
Oh no, we'd do it better than the Blair Witch. We could have a gnome standing in the corner of the house,
Yeah.
facing the wall. Oh God! But it does show how easy paranormal things catch on. A good example, folks, is I was on a Facebook page the other day, and it has a lot of pictures that people go, "Oh, I've caught this, I've caught that." Normally, dust or dog hair floating around, or really bad pareidolia photos of just dirty windows that they claim are faces and stuff. So me got onto GIMP and in 30 seconds created this picture of this shadowy hooded black monk in a corridor. Posted it on this Facebook page and actually said, I managed to fake this picture in 30 seconds on GIMP. Within 2 minutes I was private messaged by somebody telling me it was the best piece of evidence they'd ever seen and could I tell them where the location was so they could go and investigate it.
Oh dear.
And I'd actually even admitted on the photo that I posted, I faked this in 30 seconds on GIMP.
So then even read caption.
Yeah.
Oh dear.
And they wanted to know, it was the best piece of evidence they'd ever seen, and they wanted to know where the location was so they could go and investigate it. I couldn't tell them, it was just a picture of a corridor I found on Google. I just stuck a little shadowy figure in it.
And there it is.
Google via your phone. Pardon? Oh God, Andy's doing it again. Phone's just switched on again. It's gone to Google this
Alright.
time. This is your fault. Every time I'm on talking to you, I either get bloody Bixby or...
Oh, Kat actually phoned me over there asking if I knew anybody who's been having weird experiences with Alexa and stuff. I mentioned yours.
Oh, my Alexa's a nightmare. She's evil.
But apparently, at Kat's mum's house, it had gone off.
Right.
Right. And they went back in history to see what had set it off.
Yeah.
And somebody had said, Alexa, knock knock. Because she told a knock knock joke.
Yeah.
And there was nobody at the house.
All right.
So somebody had actually said that. Oh, that's pretty cool.
Yeah. It does show how gullible people are, Stephen, when you're even admitting you're faking the picture and they're contacting you to find out where the location is. It just shows how gullible people are. But I'd actually admitted in the picture that it was a fake and that it had took me 30 seconds to do it. But yeah, in regards to my Alexa, Andy, she's evil. I have been sitting here. Well, you heard her do it the other night when we were
I did, yeah.
doing the stream. She's a nightmare for you. But I've sat here many times and I've been like sitting on the settee reading my book, and she suddenly started telling me about something, as if I'd asked her a question, and it's the most obscure things. But the really weird one, which always happens when I'm on the phone to you, is my Bixby turns on and starts to tell me things. Now my Bixby is actually disabled on my Samsung S9. I turned it off, I disabled it, and I've checked it, it's still disabled. But you've heard Bixby come on and ask, it's just done it again.
Yeah. It's a bit weird, that.
Yeah, and he's actually disabled, Bixby. See if I can say Bixby as much as I want to. Bixby. Don't come on, look.
Yeah. Really odd.
But Alexa does it as well. Alexa, and she tells me some really strange things sometimes that I've never heard of. But she did go through a phase of laughing. She'd just come on and do this really horrible cackly laugh. And apparently a lot of people were getting it. So Google had to launch an update for her to stop her doing it.
Yeah.
Because people were complaining about her cackling for no reason, and it was the most evilest laugh. Alexa can scan house for ghosts. Like my Alexa talks to ghosts. They ask her questions and it gives them answers. Because honestly, I have been here when it's quiet, and she has literally just started rattling off about a topic that I haven't even. It's been totally quiet in the house. I've been reading.
I once witnessed an interesting thing. I got this taxi driver from Morrison's when I went shopping one day, and he says, "Do you mind if I just put my camera on at home?" He says, "I like to see what dog's up to." I says, "Oh no, go ahead, you know." So I'm sat in front
So
watching
what
it
he really
anyway.
meant was I like to check my wife ain't up to nothing with the milkman.
No, no, though not in house. He lived on his own, just him and
Oh
dog. But
right.
he said dog had been like having some issues you know, like so. He got this thing where he could speak and dog would hear it. It was like a really cool camera setup it got.
Mhm.
Anyway, dogs froze in it, you know, like it was like froze on the spot, just
Yeah.
watching this area near settee, and I'm watching like, and I'm thinking, what's going on here? Anyway, camera decides to move off to the left,
Yeah.
and he's like, "Did you see that?" Then and I'm like, "Yeah." Dog runs off like yelping.
Mm.
He says, "There's nobody at home, you know." He says that. He was like, that shouldn't have moved, and something had moved camera, and I saw it all on the spot. And I looked at me, I'm like, "There's something going off in your house," you know.
Really comforting, Mandy.
Yeah, yeah,
There's someone
definitely
in your
something
house
going.
trying to murder your dog.
But just to watch that on flies, you know, just out at blue, like, I thought it was pretty cool.
Yeah.
You know, you never know what's going off in your house when you're not there, do you?
Yeah. No, you don't. You don't. Gays put. I also noticed that noises they claim are there are usually birds in the background or creaking of a building. Exactly, gay. The amount of people I have watched on YouTube, they've been in the middle of the woods, and a tawny owl has hooted, and straight away it's mysterious voices. They hear a twig crack. They don't consider deer, badger, foxes, hedgehogs, weasels, stouts. The first thing is it's got to be a ghost coming after them. And that should be the last thing. That should be the last thing on your list. You eliminate the obvious before you jump straight to the paranormal. You don't go from the paranormal to the obvious. You always go from the obvious until you've got no other reason but to say it's paranormal. But and same with deer. Deer can make some really strange noises if you've never heard them.
Yeah.
But people who live in Yorkshire, which is quite rural, most people should have heard deer or have some experience of them. You should film it for YouTube. Thing is, Stephen, you never know when Alexa's going to do it. It's totally random. If you're on about me filming Alexa. Yeah, Gay, I used to have a barn owl, and they don't hoot. They scream. They do this really blood curdling scream. But they do tend to be more field birds than woods. You very rarely see barn owls in woods. They prefer to hunt open fields. But tawny owls, it don't matter. We've got them round here, Andy. I presume you've probably heard them round by you.
Yeah, you know that, you know, as you come downhill to my house, just up top there,
Hmm.
there's all them like concrete flags I've seen them sat on there at night.
Yeah.
You know.
People don't realise. Yeah, hedgehogs are noisy. But people don't realise how common birds like owls actually are.
Yeah.
You hear them. They're urbanised now as much as foxes are. It don't matter where you live. If you sit and listen, if you've got any clump of trees nearby, you're pretty much guaranteed at some point of hearing a tawny owl. And what people have got to bear in mind now as we're coming up to December, January, February, vixens are going to be coming into season soon. And
Yep.
you know what vixens are like for screaming, Andy. You're thinking in
Yep.
the wood with somebody being murdered.
Oh, I mean, the frequent up here, you
Yeah,
know, 'cause it's close to the park and allotments and
yeah,
open field at top. Yeah, we see them lots and hear them.
yeah. Well, where our street is, right at 2 doors away from me, we've got like a little patch of green. It's like a tiny little park, and there's all bushes all the
Yeah,
way around it. So and the amount of foxes and stuff we get in there screaming their heads
yeah,
off all night, and tawny owls.
yeah.
And it's only about, I'd say, 60 foot square. But you'd be surprised the animals that are in there.
Yeah. I saw a little on lane last year. There were a little fox cub playing with a cat,
Hmm.
and they were like just walking up lane together. You know, like best mates.
Yeah,
It were amazing. It were
yeah.
amazing.
But a lot of people don't realise cats can be one of the biggest killers of foxes.
All right.
Stephen says in New Zealand we have a beautiful owl called Moorpork. I wonder if that's where Terry Pratchett got the name of the city from. Hank Moorpork.
Mm.
Is Mark active on? Is Mark active on Vixen season? Lol. Yep. I live in the middle of a small city and we get owls, bats, as well as many other birds, especially at night. Exactly. Gay, I used to work at a kennels and I used to live in, and it was a cottage that was owned by British Waterways. It was literally on the side of the canal all on its own, and we had actually got bats in the roof. And you by law you're not allowed to touch them, and you used to hear them scrabbling on a night
Yeah.
before when they were getting ready to leave out. And bats aren't totally silent, Andy. You can actually
Oh
hear this.
no.
You
Yeah.
can hear the
Yeah. Yeah.
sonar if you listen to it. They click.
Yeah. Yeah.
They click, and it's amazing the things people. They don't even bother to find out what it is. They automatically presume that any sound they ain't used to has got to be a ghost. And I've always gone from the premise of you rule out what it could possibly be before you start declaring paranormal reasons.
Yeah.
You should hear the koalas here in Australia when they fight. They sound so ferocious. I've got to be honest, I couldn't tell. I wouldn't have a clue what a koala sounds like. You ever heard a koala make a noise, Andy?
I think I've watched a video with him before doing it.
Do they scream?
it
Screech. They screech.
yeah, it's like a yeah.
But I'll tell you another good example. Rabbits. If you're anywhere at night and a stoat or a weasel or a fox gets hold of a rabbit
Oh
and
yeah.
they scream, they sound like babies. But
Oh,
the bats screech. Jesus Christ. You have got to take into consideration your surroundings, and just because you're in a wood and a twig snapping, the last explanation you should jump to is ghost. Because let's
of
be honest,
course.
they're supposed to be corporeal, so they really
Yeah.
shouldn't be crunching on sticks. They should actually be floating over them, sort of thing.
Yeah. Of course. Yeah.
You know, people claim they ain't corporeal, so technically they shouldn't really be snapping twigs. Cats fighting sound like two drunk girls screaming and fighting. Lol, yeah, they do. They do. You do have to, on any investigation, you've got to be aware of not only the wildlife around you, but the actual environment itself. Even houses creak and make strange. You go into anybody's house and spend the night, there ain't your own house, and I'll guarantee you'll hear strange noises, which they'll just filter out because they've heard them that often. It's just commonplace to them. They think, oh, it's the boiler, or oh, it's the rafter that we know always creaks. Even someone who's in it, you've only got to spend a night in a strange house to hear strange noises.
Definitely.
None of them are paranormal, unless you actually have something materialise at the end of the bed and jump on you. Then fair enough, But just because you hear a noise, it don't necessarily mean it's paranormal. If anything, it's going to be the last explanation. It's called paranormal for a reason because it's beyond normal. But anything like a rabbit being caught by a weasel or a fox or anything, they scream. Every house screams. Every house creaks, gate. And the people who live there, it's like your own house. You do, in the end, subconsciously filter out the noises that you're used to hearing. Hate the sound of cats fighting, especially if it was one of mine. Oh, they just go over the top with the noise, don't they, cats?
I do very much so.
It's part of looking aggressive in it. He's making all that row as a cat. It makes you look bigger and more aggressive if you make a lot of noise. I run out and make my cat come in and shoo away the other cat. Not always a good idea to put your hand in between them when they're fighting, though.
Oh no, definitely not.
Have you ever done anything, Andy, where you thought it was paranormal and then found out it was someone else?
Oh yeah, yeah, definitely, yeah. You know, like proper like mistook. Well, right. I'll give you a classic case, right? You know when me and Becky did the video in the little woodlands when we were on holiday,
Yeah.
right? Well, when I were approaching that squirrel, I was taking slow-mo video on it, right? And I've got it in editor, and there was this and what it does, it takes away audio to some
Right.
degree when it slow-mos it down
Yeah.
in my phone. And I got this massive spike of sound on video, and I was like, "What's that?"
Right.
And I plays it through, and there's this bong bong like a church bell.
Yeah.
And I was like, "There ain't no churches there. There were nothing. We were like next to the beach, relatively."
Mhm.
And I'm like, "What is it?" You know, because we've got something there. Oh, and it sounded right, like sort of, like I can't even explain the noise. And I'm like, "That's amazing." I says, well, anyway, I get something, and I thought I'm gonna have to do a little video of me talking here, saying there was no church bells in the area and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Anyway, I put original clip in, and it's a bit jiggity jaggedy original clip, 'cause it like slow mo's it actually as a setting.
Yeah.
And you know what? Like, well,
What?
it got my notification on my phone,
And because it
and
was slowed down, it sounded like
yeah,
a.
and
Yeah.
I was that caught up with Squirrel. Neither me and her didn't hear that notification come
Mhm.
through one day.
Yeah. And
So yeah,
you can be fooled so easily by something like that.
oh, I easy.
So easily by something like that.
I was gutted though. I was like, oh my,
Yeah.
you know,
Yeah.
I was like, no.
But that is something that can easily happen because you're used to hearing it, but when you hear it slowed down, it sounds like someone entirely different, doesn't it?
Yeah, oh yeah, definitely.
Oh. But there you go. Have you got to go and get your trip out?
Yes, I've got to be setting off any minute.
Right. Okay. Well, look, guys, I'm going to close the stream down now because Andy's got to go out. Thanks for coming in. I will put a notification up in the week when the next video is going to be. I made a one Wednesday, but no promises. But there'll definitely be one on Friday. But I will put a notification up by Wednesday to if one way or the other to say, oh pardon me, what we're doing. And I'd just like to thank Andy for coming in and helping again tonight.
No problems, anytime.
And I'd like to thank you all for coming on the channel. So I'll just wait for this to come through so you all know we're going rather than just cutting you off. So have a good night, everybody, and thank you very much for coming in the channel.
Good night, everybody.